Chapter 301. Wake up. Gongyi is now in the entire Konoha village. Do you think we can restrain him anymore? Or, do you want Gongyi to leave Konoha village? Sarutobi Hiruzen heard that Danzo was still there. Hold on to Gongyi now. Let's go. The whole person's face became even more gloomy. Sarutobi Hiruzen doesn't want to investigate further about Gongyi's side. According to the current situation of Konoha, there have been many disadvantages. In such a situation, Sarutobi Hiruzen did not want to have any conflict with Gongyi. With the destruction of the Uchiha clan, the overall strength of the Konoha village has dropped a lot. If I go to provoke Gongyi here again, it will be a devastating blow to the entire Konoha village. Gongyi's position in the hearts of the people is not something he can shake. Again. Now Sarutobi Hiruzen has clearly understood in his heart that the 3-2-2 of the Uchiha clan are unknowingly. Genocide was all led by Danzo. So the current Sarutobi Hiruzen will naturally attribute all these things. In Danzo. HMPH, 3 generations, you are still old after all. When Danzo heard Sarutobi Hiruzen finished speaking, he also knocked the cane in his hand on the ground, and said with a cold snort. Immediately the next second, Sarutobi Hiruzen could speak again. Danzo left the conference room with an angry hand. A day later. Konoha Ninja Hospital. Gongyi went to the dean's office as usual. As the genocide of the Uchiha family continues to ferment, every family in the entire Konoha village is also waiting for news. After all, this is not a small matter, and it can be gradually forgotten in a few days. Because of this, Sarutobi Hiruzen looks very sad now, looking forward to Uchiha Sasuke wake up quickly. Although his previous meeting had appeased everyone, the longer the time went on, the more unfavorable it became for the entire Konoha village. Wants the Tenten to be perceived as an executioner who is not allowed to betray at the core of Konoha village. President Gongyi, the boy from the Uchiha clan, has some signs of waking up. A hospital nurse knocked on the door and reported to Gongyi. Are you going to wake up already? After Gongyi heard it, he looked at the hospital nurse and nodded. Okay, you can go first. Yes. By the way, wait a minute. The hospital nurse nodded, but was stopped by Gongyi as she was about to leave the office. Go and ask someone to inform the 3rd generation and tell him about this. Gongyi looked at the confused nurse and said. Understood, Director Gongyi. Hearing this, the hospital nurse immediately turn around and go down, ready to call the ninja guarding outside to inform. Not long. Inside Uchiha Sasuke's ward. Gongyi, Sarutobi Hiruzen, and the head of the EPUB family all came here. They naturally want to know who exactly destroyed the Uchiha family. At least there is a testimony here. As for Sarutobi Hiruzen, it is naturally the suspicion of Konoha's core executives. And because of their high-ranking status, as long as they can't deny, then the whole Konoha village will return to peace. Gongyi, now can he wake up? Sarutobi Hiruzen, who got the news, looked at Sasuke Uchiha, who was lying on the hospital bed, and asked Gongyi again. Now everyone around is doing the same, and their eyes are on him. At present, although Uchiha Sasuke has appeared in a state of waking up, it is obvious that someone needs to guide him slowly. Sasuke was severely stimulated. Without the guidance of ninjas with superb medical ninjutsu, it would be difficult for Sasuke to recover from his own state. Almost all right. Seeing Sasuke's state, Gongyi stepped forward and put a hand on his head. Immediately, bursts of green light appeared on his hand. Gongyi's previously sharp and domineering power has become soft. Wake up, Sasuke. After Gongyi finished speaking, Sasuke began to show signs that he had opened his eyes. Next second, Sasuke has begun to slowly open his eyes, a pair of black eyes full of confusion at the moment. But, not waiting, Sarutobi Hiruzen spoke. Uchiha Sasuke's face gradually became hideous. Uchiha Sasuke is obviously still in the memory of Itachi's Amaterasu before that, unable to extricate himself. But when Gongyi slowly injected chakra into Uchiha Sasuke's body, he slowly calmed down and relieved a lot. Where is this? At this time, when Uchiha Sasuke's eyes slowly cleared, he noticed that he was no longer at home. This is a hospital, how is it better? With a faint smile on his face, Gongyi retracted his hand and looked at Sasuke. Yeah, how is Sasuke now? Sarutobi Hiruzen and others also asked quickly. While secretly marveling at how extraordinary Gongyi's medical ninjutsu really is, they are also fortunate that Sasuke Uchiha is fortunate to look good and there is nothing serious. Lord Gongyi. The first thing Sasuke Uchiha saw was Gongyi. Gongyi, he knew him. Uchiha Itachi, but he didn't mention to him how powerful Gongyi is. At this time, Sasuke was looking at the other side, and he also saw Sarutobi Hiruzen and others. Sasuke, what happened that night, you? Sarutobi Hiruzen saw that Sasuke Uchiha was completely awake, and he also asked tentatively. Weasel. Uchiha Sasuke heard Sarutobi Hiruzen finish, and the whole person's emotions became excited. It was Itachi who did it, he killed the entire clan. A pair of dark eyes, now full of hatred at this moment. When Sasuke mentioned Itachi, he couldn't help but want to kill him himself. He obviously admired his brother like that, but now he feels that he has been deceived. Sasuke, who is still young, can no longer think about the rest of the things in his mind, and his whole person has uncontrollable anger. 1. Image of Tsukuyomi that Uchiha Itachi unleashed on him was still vivid in his mind, as if he had experienced it himself. Ferret. At this time, Sarutobi Hiruzen, as if he didn't know anything, showed surprise on his face. Uchiha Itachi, could it be him? It was really Uchiha Itachi who did it. He actually killed the entire Uchiha clan. The others also had surprises on their faces. Before they were guessing and thought it was nothing, but now seeing Sasuke, one of the last survivors of Uchiha, has spoken out and everyone has believed. After all, this is only a child under 7 or 8 years old, and it is impossible for him to deceive them with great scheming now. Combined with the disappearance of Uchiha Itachi now, and there are some evidences that have shown that all this is really what Uchiha Itachi did. Chapter 302. Just around the corner. Time flies fast. Dazzling hurry, half a month has passed since the Uchiha clan went extinct. After Sasuke woke up at that time, he had already proved that Uchiha Itachi was the murderer of the genocide. Later, the root of Danzo was added, as well as the evidence that Anbu of Sarutobi Hiruzen collected intentionally or unintentionally. The end, the whole thing has been completely determined, and it is. Uchiha Itachi did it alone. At this point, the whole family genocide massacre has gradually faded away, and no one has mentioned it excessively. But even so, it seems that Konoha's core high-level side has avoided a storm, and thus successfully cut off the Uchiha family who want to coup. But Sarutobi Hiruzen is not very happy, on the contrary, he is very melancholy now. Hokage building, inside the office. 3 generations of adults, now the overall information is these, it can be confirmed. As for the rest, it's almost as you expected. An Anbu ninja left after bowing his head to report, leaving only Sarutobi Hiruzen sitting there, frowning. Because of the annihilation of the Uchiha clan, Konoha's power has been weakened by a large piece, and the entire 29 ninja continents have begun to hear the wind. Kumogakure village, Iwagakure village, Sunagakure village, etc. have begun to move, and some people are not very calm at first. After all, the power of the Uchiha clan is like thunder in the entire ninja world. Especially the dreaded Sharingan Tongli makes many people fearful. Now that they heard that the Uchiha clan was actually wiped out, they were naturally excited secretly. The weaker the Konoha village, the better for a village like them. And in the previous wars, because of Gong Yi's existence, Konoha's got a lot of benefits. Now seeing that Konoha's strength has been invisibly weakened, many people have a tendency to move. In the eyes of the rest of the villages, Konoha village is now a fat and oily meat, and everyone wants to take a bite. And now, their chance will naturally come. These guys, did they still want to start a war now? Sarutobi Hiruzen looked bad. The Anbu ninja who just came here, just reported him the movement of the rest of the village. And the series of information that he had obtained before has also been completely confirmed. In each ninja village, most of them have hidden spies. Konoha village is currently the strongest ninja village in the entire ninja continent, and their intelligence agencies cannot be underestimated. In the village outside, but also the location of Konoha's border at the moment, there are already many strange things. These days, Anbu in the village has also been sent out by himself a lot, just to suppress the surrounding. Sarutobi Hiruzen looked at the large and small pieces of information on the table, and in just a few days he seemed to have aged a lot. It seems that it is not easy to stop such a thing from happening now. Sarutobi Hiruzen rubbed his temples, feeling a little distressed. This is not to say that you can just think about it overnight. It's not an easy thing to effectively get a group of guys who are scheming against Konoha to give up on the premise of no war. Now even though it is Sarutobi Hiruzen, he can't help but feel a headache. Thinking about it for a long time, Sarutobi Hiruzen has already thought about it, and now it seems that just thinking about it by himself has no effect. Kakashi. Swish. Sarutobi Hiruzen finished speaking, and a man wearing an Anbu combat uniform and an animal mask appeared. 3 generations of adults, you call me. Kakashi looked at Sarutobi Hiruzen and asked directly. Now as Sarutobi Hiruzen's personal Anbu member, he is naturally on call. You go and invite Gong Yi, I want to discuss some things with him. Yes. Kakashi nodded, the whole person immediately left the place. The leader of the palace. A whistling wind passed by. Hyuga Neji was sweating profusely in the yard, practicing taijutsu. Just came back from the ninja school today. Hyuga Neji has come here. From a very young age to today, Hyuga Neji has grown significantly taller. Day after day, year after year, Hyuga Neji has not missed a day of the practice Gong Yi entrusted to him. At this moment, he finally got rid of the boring exercise before. Although it is still not much better now, Hyuga Neji is very content. Phew. At this time, Hyuga Neji finally waved his arms twice, and the breathless whole person relaxed, no longer tense. Back, Hyuga Neji blinked, and a pair of white pupils now looked behind him. Mr. Gong Yi, how did I behave this time? Yes, it's a little bit better than the previous few days. Gong Yi sat there, quietly looked at Hyuga Neji and praised with a faint smile. Really? Hyuga Neji heard Gong Yi's rare compliment, and the whole person couldn't help but say with joy, Teacher Gong Yi, don't worry, I will work harder and harder. I want to be like Teacher Gong Yi, and become a ninja who will make the whole ninja world tremble. Gong Yi nodded when he heard the words. He stood up and walked in front of Hyuga Neji. Although Hyuga Neji is a lot taller than before, it is still a lot worse according to Gong Yi. Out his hand, Gong Yi touched Hyuga Neji's head, and said slowly, take care not to be impatient on the way to 320 in Teishu. Everything must be done gradually, so that you can progress slowly, and you will naturally become stronger over time. Hyuga Neji looked up at Gong Yi, nodded and said, I understand Teacher Gong Yi. Don't worry, I will train according to your instructions. Gong Yi looked at Hyuga Neji's sensible appearance, smiled and continued. And practice the physical skills I told you before. Good. Hyuga Neji didn't say that he was tired. Hearing Gong Yi finished speaking, he stepped forward, waving his arms to continue training. Gong Ling, you stay here and watch Neji, I'll go out. Gong Yi looked outside with a half smile. Now he had already sensed that someone was coming to the door. Master, don't worry, Neji can have me here. Standing behind Gong Yi, nodded and replied Gong Yi. There was no trace of indifference in his tone. For Gong Yi, Gongling is naturally completely different from the rest of the people. Okay, then I'll leave it to you. Gong Yi didn't say more, the whole person immediately disappeared. Kakashi, do you have anything to ask me? Next second. When Gong Yi reappears, he has already come to Kakashi's side. Chapter 303. Shocking, 3rd. Kakashi, do you have anything to ask me? A voice suddenly appeared next to Kakashi. Kakashi's expression changed immediately after the mask. Looking to the side, Dean Gong Yi. Cold sweat appeared on his forehead involuntarily. Kakashi just arrived here and has been waiting for Gong Yi to call him in. He didn't know when Gong Yi actually appeared. And the speed of this unknowing has already made him a little terrified. Speed. Faster. I had seen Gong Yi's speed once before, but now he is more skilled than the last time. What's wrong? When Gong Yi saw Kakashi lost for a while, he immediately asked. Hearing the voice, Kakashi came back to his senses and said quickly, President Gong Yi, Lord 3 Generations, please come over. Stop thinking about it. At this time, Kakashi, with the subtle influence of time, was in awe of Gong Yi. The blood of youth and ignorance has disappeared. In this world where the strong are respected, Kakashi bowed his head and put away his pride, and did not dare to offend Gong Yi too much. 3 generations. Gong Yi murmured to himself, then looked at Kakashi again. What happened to the 3 generations of the Uchiha family, isn't it all over? Kakashi nodded. The matter of the Uchiha clan is almost over. But Kakashi looked at Gong Yi hesitantly, and then continued, because of the Uchiha family, there may be some chain reaction now, and the 3rd generation should be because of this. Kakashi looked at Gong Yi and told him one-sidedly what he knew. Now the specific situation, Sarutobi Hiruzen did not talk to him in detail. And there are some things that each Anbu member needs to keep secret, so Kakashi doesn't know much. I told him about these general things, and added some inferences by myself. Oh, the chain reaction after the Uchiha clan. Gong Yi didn't ask any more questions. Some things will be known to Akatsuki when they reach the 3rd generation, so Gong Yi looked at Kakashi and said, I know, you go back first. Good. Kakashi nodded happily and immediately disappeared. Main purpose is to transmit Sarutobi Hiruzen, and there are no other things. Now that the news has arrived, there is no need for Kakashi to stay for a long time. After a while. Hokage Building Office. Gong Yi is now sitting on Sarutobi Day. Call me here, what's the matter? Sarutobi Hiruzen with a complicated face in front of him, Gong Yi hid something. The matter of the Uchiha family has been around for a long time now, and the voices of suspicion have disappeared. Sarutobi Hiruzen saw Gong Yi, and said slowly from the beginning, although it seems that the storm has passed, I didn't expect it to be just the beginning. Well, what do you mean is that there are villages outside, and they start to think about the destruction of the Uchiha clan to disturb Konoha. When Gong Yi heard Sarutobi Hiruzen say this, after that, he already knew about it in his heart. There is no doubt that Konoha is powerful. But he is powerful, that is. So powerful that there are many families within him. The Uchiha family, as the family that once founded the Konoha with the Senju family, is not to mention their strength. The terrifying Mangekyo Sharingan has become the nightmare of many enemies. And because of their existence, many villages feel a little troublesome. But now it's different. Now the prosperous and tyrannical Uchiha clan, they have been completely exterminated. So while Konoha is suffering a lot, and it's still in civil strife because of this, it's a good opportunity for the rest of the village. I can't say what will happen to Konoha, but there are a lot of benefits. Yes, I have already obtained a lot of information here. Seeing that Gong Yi understood it simply by mentioning it himself, Sarutobi Hiruzen looked at him and said, "The information here is basically true, and most of the anomalies in the periphery are the same as those described in the information." Hearing Sarutobi Hiruzen finish speaking, Gong Yi smiled lightly. "In fact, you can already think of it. Gong Yi isn't showing any surprise now. Konoha has benefited a lot from previous wars, and now it's normal for the family to want to make things worse." Thoughts came to this point. Gong Yi didn't say much, but asked, "So what do you want to do next?" "It's a bit difficult. We can't go to war anymore." Sarutobi Hiruzen shook his head, looked at Gong Yi obviously with some distress and said, "In this situation, Gong Yi, how do you think we should resolve this matter?" He found Gong Yi to come here today, that is to say, he wanted to hear his opinion. After all, many times in Konoha's crisis, Gong Yi turned the tide. "It's simple." Hearing that, Gong Yi raised the corners of his mouth and showed a smile. He is very indifferent now, in contrast to Sarutobi Hiruzen, who is incomparable. Gong Yi sat in front of him, and it was so light and calm, as if this matter was trivial to him. At this time, Sarutobi Hiruzen, who frowned, asked, "Gong Yi, what do you mean?" "Do something to shock them and let them know that I still have people in Konoha." Gong Yi looked at Sarutobi Hiruzen and said slowly, "As long as you show Konoha's powerful strength, these villages will naturally be honest. Even without the Uchiha family, Konoha is still not something they can control." "Awesome." When Sarutobi Hiruzen heard Gong Yi finished speaking, his heart skipped a beat, and his face was thoughtful. Yes. After Gong Yi's suggestion, Sarutobi Hiruzen also understood. "That's right, it's shocking." Gong Yi nodded and continued to Sarutobi Hiruzen. "Okay, now in the surrounding villages, the reason why those guys are moving around is because they feel that Konoha's power has been weakened by more than half." Smile, Gong Yi knocked on the table in front of Sarutobi Hiruzen. "Then now Konoha villages showing strength again, or inadvertently showing some strength, then this matter, I am afraid it can be self-defeating. It's a good idea, but how to show strength without provoking war, we have to think about it." Sarutobi Hiruzen looked at Gong Yi with admiration. "The young man in front of me, Sarutobi Hiruzen, is very afraid of him, but I have to say that he is really the Jinchuriki column of Konoha. The powerful and tyrannical him is also completely stronger than the current self in terms of solving some things." At this time, Sarutobi Hiruzen also had to sigh with emotion. He used to think that Gong Yi was too young and did not do enough things prudent. Now that I think about it, he is thick and thin. Chapter 304. Another Mizukage Ceremony, 4th Update. This shock is indeed a good idea. Sarutobi Hiruzen returned to his eyes, looked at Gong Yi and continued to ask, "I don't know about Gong Yi, do you have any? A good way to shock the surrounding the villages that are just about to move?" Sarutobi Hiruzen's frown was relieved a lot at this moment. Obviously he agrees with Gong Yi's opinion. After all, under the current state of affairs, there is really no good way for opinions other than what Gong Yi said. To use the ninja army again to create war, and there is no need to be taken advantage of by some villages. Gong Yi's seemingly normal thinking is indeed a simple and rude solution to many problems. Recently, in the rest of the ninja village, are there any big trends? Gong Yi thought for a while, looked at Sarutobi Hiruzen and asked. At present, in addition to some villages want to be detrimental to our Konoha, there should be a Mizukage inauguration ceremony in the village of Kurigakure, and we have already received the news. Sarutobi Hiruzen thought about it and replied. Other than that, there is nothing to do. Have you thought of a good solution now? Seeing Gong Yi's indifferent face, Sarutobi Hiruzen looked at him expectantly. Maybe now Gong Yi can be able to solve all this. Inauguration ceremony of Mizukage in Kurigakure village. Well, the 5th-generation Mizukage Terumime ascending ceremony is too simple. 320. After gaining the trust of the daimyo, the Land of Water intends to hold a grand ceremony for her to take office again. of a village and the most powerful person in the country of water. The corner of Gong Yi's mouth, a smile. Now there is a good opportunity in front of you. Then you might as well speak and listen. Since it's shocking, it's impossible for us in Konoha to really walk past village by village like that. Gong Yi looked at Sarutobi Hiruzen and said slowly, this would be very stupid and not efficient at all. Then what do you mean? It's very simple, then we will send a Konoha mission to Kurigakure village to congratulate. Smile. Gong Yi had already thought of a very good idea. The last time Mizukage from Kurigakure village came to Konoha, this time we can go there for the reason of a return visit. Furthermore, now we can take advantage of the inauguration ceremony of Mizukage in Kurigakure village, and we can also send a mission to congratulate them. After all, we can't be the only mission from Konoha, and missions from other villages may also come here. First, I want to take the opportunity to check the strength of the rebuilt Kurigakure village. Second, maybe we also need to see how our Konoha village is doing now. Gong Yi didn't talk nonsense, looked at Sarutobi Hiruzen and continued, as long as you show the tyrannical power of Konoha in front of the rest of the embassies, let them see that even though the Uchiha clan no longer exists, Konoha, it is still not something they can shake. In this case, it will be easy to dispel their idea, and it will simply shock them, so that they will not dare to act rashly. Hearing Gong Yi finish speaking, Sarutobi Hiruzen's eyes lit up and nodded without speaking. Obviously, Gong Yi just listened to this opinion, and is also considering it. That's right. Now, although what Gong Yi said is really good, Sarutobi Hiruzen decided not to be happy. A long time, Sarutobi Hiruzen looked at Gong Yi with a soothing face. Okay. Just do as you said. After speaking, he picked up the cigarette bag again. Sarutobi Hiruzen, the whole person is now looking at Gong Yi, and he is not as apprehensive as before. Thinking about it, Sarutobi Hiruzen also thought about it just now, and said again, in this case, Gong Yi, I have decided to let you serve as the mission, on behalf of our Konoha, go to Kurigakure village to congratulate. Since it is a shock. Then Sarutobi Hiruzen naturally decided to let Gong Yi go and tell everyone on behalf of the whole Konoha village. Although the Uchiha family was destroyed, their own Konoha village still has this man who can suppress the ninja world. The strongest ninja Gong Yi, but still, they Konoha. As for, now serving as a mission to deter other large villages, Sarutobi Hiruzen is not only I see and think of a second person other than Gong Yi. Obviously, Gong Yi is the best choice right now. Maybe with Gong Yi's appearance, basically nothing needs to be done. Maybe a group of people from the big village will give up the idea. Thinking about it, Sarutobi Hiruzen has decided that as long as Gong Yi agrees, then Konoha's problem this time will be solved. Let me take the mission to the village of Kurigakure. Gong Yi heard Sarutobi Hiruzen finish, looked at him and asked. That's right, now maybe the whole of Konoha, and only you can do it to shock the outer village. Sarutobi Hiruzen is not ordering Gong Yi, but discussing with him, do you think? Now my opinion is acceptable. Now he no longer regards Gong Yi as a subordinate ninja that his subordinates call on and go. Furthermore, even if he gave Gong Yi an order, if he didn't obey him, there was nothing Sarutobi Hiruzen could do. Then, forming evil, Sarutobi Hiruzen should respect Gong Yi and follow his own will. Silence for a moment. Hearing Sarutobi Hiruzen finish speaking, Gong Yi didn't answer, but sat there thinking about it. After a long time, Gong Yi nodded. If that's the case, that's all it can do. Still choose to agree. Of course, it's not all about helping Sarutobi Hiruzen right now. Now that the reconstruction of Kurigakure village has been completed and Terumi Mei has also taken up the post of Mizukage, Gong Yi is naturally a little selfish. And now the things explained by the clone have also progressed. This time, I can meet with him through the opportunity of being a mission, and then get some information about the power of Jinchuriki column. Can save yourself a lot of time and trouble. In this way, Gong Yi decided that this time he would personally lead the mission and go to the village of Kurigakure. Okay, that would be great. Sarutobi Hiruzen saw the silent Gongyi agree, and his face also showed a smile. Obviously, now that Gongyi can agree to serve as the mission, it's a huge help for Konoha. Originally Sarutobi Hiruzen saw Gongyi's appearance before, but he was still worried that if Gongyi refused, he would have nothing to do. Looking at it now, Sarutobi Hiruzen finally let go of his heart, and immediately he looked at Gongyi and continued. Then this time Gongyi will serve as a member of the mission with you, and it will be up to you to choose. Sarutobi Hiruzen released the power and did not ask for someone to follow Gongyi. Now that Gongyi has agreed, Sarutobi Hiruzen simply handed over the selection of personnel to Gongyi. After all, if he were to arrange whoever and whoever, he might also make Gongyi feel unhappy. Yes. Hearing Sarutobi Hiruzen finish speaking, Gongyi did not refuse, he nodded and agreed. Chapter 305, They are all acquaintances. A day later. Now the village of Konoha has gradually returned to normal. After the turmoil of the Uchiha family's extermination, everyone has gradually forgotten. Uchiha Itachi is also listed as missing nin and wanted by Konoha. Matter with Sarutobi Hiruzen yesterday, Gongyi went back to make arrangements. As the mission of Kurigakure village is naturally not an easy task, and it is not an easy task to set off. And today Gongyi still has something to do, so he didn't leave in a hurry. It's true to be shocked, but it's impossible to put aside all the surrounding villages in a day or two. Ninja School. Sun is shining brightly, and it is very lively here. Today is a new batch of students who have successfully passed the exam and become the genin of Konoha village. And now outside the ninja school, a grand graduation ceremony has begun. Sarutobi Hiruzen, as Hokage, even came to the scene to witness them. There are many people standing outside the school fence. Some are the parents of the students, and some are people who are watching the excitement. Soon, each ninja teacher will hand over the forehead guard representing the identity of the ninja to each student. Faces were filled with joy, and they were all proud to have finally become ninjas. However, in the crowd of students here, a white-haired boy didn't care about this, but was looking around. The white-haired boy is very special, with a pair of green pupils and 2 yuhi dots between his eyebrows, which are very conspicuous among this group of students. Kimimaro, it's your turn. At this time, a student standing next to him called out to him. Kimimaro looked over and saw that it was time for him to receive the Konoha forehead protection. Shaking his head, Kimimaro's face was a little disappointed. Mr. Gongyi seems to have something to do, so he shouldn't be able to come. Thoughts here, Kimimaro stepped forward quickly, preparing to accept the ceremony of handing over the forehead. That's right. Today is Kimimaro's successful graduation day. However, Gongyi had promised him to come here, and he would personally hand over the forehead protection for him. But Kimimaro looked around, except the parents of other students, there was no sign of Gongyi. Walking to the front, Kimimaro has already stretched out his hand, ready to grab the forehead guard in the ninja teacher's hand. Sorry for being a little late. However, at this time, a soft and familiar voice appeared, causing Kimimaro to raise his head. I didn't know when. The teacher Chunin just now was standing next to him, and Gongyi was smiling at him with the Konoha's forehead in his hand. Gong, Teacher Gongyi. Kimimaro's slightly disappointed expression flashed with surprise. He didn't expect that Gongyi actually came. Look, it's Lord Gongyi. It's really Lord Gongyi. The crowd here, seeing Gongyi coming in person, just handed the Konoha forehead to Kimimaro, all showing envious faces. Especially a group of these students who are about to graduate, they are already familiar with Gongyi's deeds, and everyone is striving for Gongyi as a goal. Now their eyes lit up when they saw Kimimaro taking the Konoha forehead guard from Gongyi's hand. The people around, they also set their eyes on Gongyi, and their eyes were mostly respectful, without any negative emotions mixed in. Gangyi has a different meaning to the whole of Konoha now. Then you will be a ninja, but you must always remember what I said at the beginning. Gangyi smiled and patted Kimamaro's head, and said to him indifferently. Yes. Kimamaro nodded and looked at Gangyi with radiant eyes. I won't let Mr. Gangyi down. Dazzling, half a day has passed. The whole lively graduation ceremony is coming to an end. After Gangyi came here, he did not leave, but came to Sarutobi Hiruzen. However, because of Gangyi's arrival, it made everyone around feel the meaning, different. The entire graduation ceremony was unforgettable for many people. A few days later. The gate of Konoha village. At this moment, 7 or 8 are standing quietly here, a ninja. Each of them wore ninja combat uniforms and carried a backpack. Apparently, there is already a task and it is ready to be executed. But this time, they didn't immediately leaving, but quietly waiting for someone. Is everyone here? At this time, a voice appeared, and when everyone followed the voice, Gangyi and Kimamaro were already standing in front of them. Lord Gangyi, we are all ready. Yuhi in the team, after she saw Gangyi, her face showed an undisguised admiration. That's right, Lord Gangyi, I already feel. My youth is boiling and burning. Might Guy also looked at Gangyi, showing a white and shining smile. Saying that, I didn't forget to give Gangyi a thumbs up. At the same time, when the two of them finished talking, Asuma, who was on the other side, also nodded to Gangyi. He didn't look like he was competing with Gangyi at the beginning, but now Asuma has grown older, Asuma has become a lot more mature and stable. And as Gangyi's strength has become more and more terrifying, even though it is Asuma, there is a lot of respect for Gangyi in his eyes. Although I was not in Konoha village at the beginning, I followed the daimyo and heard a lot of Gangyi's deeds. Now Asuma is facing Gangyi, more admiration. It was incredible that a civilian ninja had risen step by step, and now it is so powerful. Yes, now that you are all ready, let's go. Nodding, Gangyi smiled, looked at a few people and said. These people were selected by Gangyi to visit Kurigakure village this time. Of course, the few people in front of them were naturally not chosen at random. The team of 7 or 8 people, represented by Asuma, Might Guy, Kurenai Yuhi, are all very good young generation. Like Yuanfei Esma, who is now a very good jonin in Konoha. There is also Might Guy, who is also very skilled in physical skills. Demonic Illusion by Kurenai Yuhi, is equally good. These weak guys had basically grown up unconsciously. Taking them this time, Gangyi naturally wants to show those who are conspiring against Konoha. The younger generation of Konoha is still very strong. As for Kimamaro, it was specially brought by Gangyi. He has just graduated from the ninja school, and he really needs to hone. Just this time, Gangyi chose to bring him with him. Enter. Chapter 306. Kurigakure Visiting Group. The wind blows gently. The weather outside Konoha village is exceptionally good today. Looking up at the sky is cloudless and the sun is shining brightly. Surrounding air is fresh and refreshing, and the warm sunlight is reflected in the jungle, making people feel extra comfortable. I have to say, Konoha is really powerful. Similarly, it is also very eye-catching. Yuhi. While on the way with the visit and others, Gangyi looked at the dense jungle resources around him, and his thoughts were light. These resources in front of you are enough to feed a lot of people, and at the same time, more ninjas can appear indirectly. A virtuous circle, isn't it? Lord Gangyi, we are about to reach the port. At this time, Sarutobi Asuma, who was next to Gangyi, reminded him. Well. Nodding his head, Gangyi has seen the surrounding woods begin to thin out. Ahead, should be 3220. It should be a large open area. The speed of the few of them was not slow. After leaving Konoha village, Gangyi and the others had already crossed the entire area and arrived at the edge of the fire country in just half a day. Everyone dodged a few times, and they had already stopped on the sturdy tall tree. Gong Yi looked in front of him, and then, a few hundred meters away, was the port of the Land of Fire. Because the village of Kurigakure belongs to the category of the Country of Water, it is not built on the Ninja continent. This time, it is no longer possible to travel regularly, but it must be reached by boat. Let's go. He took the people behind him to leave, and when he reappeared, Gong Yi had already appeared in front of the port. Because when the Uchiha clan was exterminated and the rest of the ninja village was a little restless, the entire Konoha village and even the outskirts of the Country of Fire were in a state of martial law. This port is no exception, and all are strictly guarded by the ninjas who guard here. Of course, these martial orders are strictly observed, and will not have any effect on Gong Yi and the others. Gong Yi first appeared here. The ninja guarding the port in front had already greeted him. Master Gong Yi. Seeing the appearance of Gong Yi and others, several guard ninjas were not surprised. Not long ago, they had been informed that Gong Yi would come here with a visit. On the other hand, the port ninjas were also in an uproar around them. Look, Lord Gong Yi is here. Our dark blue devil in Konoha is really different. It's really Lord Gong Yi. I was still there. I saw him from a distance on the battlefield. When this Konoha's deep blue devil. After appearing, the entire peaceful port was shaken by a great uproar. Some Konoha ninjas have participated in previous wars, know him, and now they are very hot. Konoha ninjas who have been here for a long time, they are all strange. After all, Gong Yi's deeds have spread all over the continent, and they all want to see Gong Yi's true face with their own eyes. Lord Gong Yi, you are welcome. At this time, a ninja wearing a Jonin vest appeared directly in front of Gong Yi's eyes. With an awe-inspiring smile on his face, he looked at Gong Yi to make way. We have already made arrangements, please, Lord Gong Yi. Who were guarding here also got out of the way. Apparently the name is Jonin, who is in charge of the entire port. Now he, looking a little stern, is obviously a person who is not very easy to get along with. But at this moment, he did not dare to show the slightest disrespect towards Gong Yi. He was very enthusiastic. Well. Gong Yi nodded, and there was no turbulence on his face. Kurigakure village on behalf of Konoha village, and Sarutobi Hiruzen has already informed everything in the Country of Fire. Gong Yi is not surprised by this. As for Yuan Fei, Asuma and the others, they didn't say anything, they just quietly followed behind Gong Yi. Soon, under the leadership of the port Jonin, a group of them had entered the port. With the gaze of a group of ninjas and civilians around, Gong Yi and others could see the ships docked on the coast. Master Gong Yi, this is the ship. Jonin, who was in charge of the port, looked at Gong Yi cautiously, and asked him, "It's still a long time, Lord Gong Yi, do you want to rest here first, and then set off?" As for Gong Yi, who is famous throughout the ninja continent, Jonin, who is in charge of the port, also dare not speculate too much. He is now afraid that the sentence is wrong, which will lead to Gong Yi in front of him. Of course. Now he is also thinking too much. Gong Yi doesn't care about these. Instead, he looks at the big ship in front of him. The ship moored on the shore in front of him is not small, and it is more than enough to carry his visit. And its specifications are very high. Even if Gong Yi doesn't know much about boats, it can be seen that its cost will definitely not be low. Not only because of its huge size, but also its overall construction material is very strong and high-end. Obviously, Sarutobi Hiruzen was very attentive to his trip this time. At least in these day-to-day aspects, he has given himself high treatment. Shaking his head and smiling, Gong Yi came back to his senses, looked at the Jonin in charge of the port with a light expression, and said slowly, "There is no need to rest, we will set off now." "Ming, I understand Lord Gong Yi." Seeing that Gong Yi was not as difficult to get along with as he thought, the name Jonin was also unnaturally relieved. A moment. He didn't talk nonsense, and quickly invited Gong Yi and others to the prepared boat. Coming to the deck, the interior of the whole ship is not small, and there are dozens of rooms for people to rest. The entire facility is fully equipped, completely, and ordinary ships are at two extremes. In charge of sailing here is also a veteran who is familiar with the entire route to Kurigakure village. Gong Yi is not worried about this point. He and the others just need to cross the sea with peace of mind. Around, Gong Yi said a few words to Jonan behind him, and was ready to set off. Hula, big one painted with the Konoha logo. The 6 sails are rising, and the huge ship has slowly set sail. Okay, let's go and rest for a while. Seeing that the big ship had left the shore and started to ride the wind and waves, Gong Yi looked at the visiting members who were following him, smiled and said, "The land of fire is still a long way from the land of water, so wait until soon. When I arrive, I will explain some things to you." Understood, Lord Gong Yi. Several ninjas who visited nodded, all of them immediately. Left here. What's wrong with Asuma? You still have something to do. After Gong Yi saw everyone leave, Yuanfei Asuma was left standing there. He asked. Gong Yi actually felt that the whole way, Yuanfei Asuma's face was full of worries. Chapter 307. Who is he? Lord Gong Yi, there are some things, let's go in and talk. Sarutobi Asuma looked around, looked at Gong Yi and said. Gong Yi didn't speak, nodded. Dia entered the ship. Gong Yi chose a very quiet room. Tell me, what's wrong? Entering the house, Gong Yi sat down and asked Sarutobi Asuma. Master Gong Yi, this is for you. Sarutobi Asuma also sat down, took out a small scroll in his arms and handed it to Gong Yi. Gong Yi opened the scroll that Sarutobi Asuma handed over, a look of confusion on his face. This is a scroll that records ninjutsu. The principle is somewhat similar to the Book of Seals I read in Sarutobi Hiruzen. It's just that this is a reduced version, and what is recorded in it is not some miscellaneous forbidden technique. It records all futon wind-style ninjutsu. Some are familiar to Gong Yi, and some are secret spells of the futon wind style, a tribute that Gong Yi has not heard of. Gong Yi knows that this futon wind style ninjutsu, which he has never heard of since 29, should be the secret technique of Yuanfei's clan. Secret art, naturally, refers to those powerful ninjutsu that can be unleashed without Kekkei Genkei's premise. However, although secret techniques are very powerful, they are generally inherited within their respective families and will not be spread outside at all. It's like the shadow technique of the Nara family in Konoha village, the doubling technique of the Akamichi family, and the weird spiritual ninjutsu of the Yamanaka family. Basically, they are all things from their respective families, which are never passed on. These days, the futon wind style type of ninjutsu that I have never seen before must have been inherited by the Sarutobi clan alone. The scroll in front of Gong Yi's eyes seems to be densely packed with futon wind style ninjutsu. But together, they are not as valuable as a few of them. So it is enough to see that it is very difficult for ordinary people to obtain such a family-inherited secret technique. Putting the scroll away slowly, Gong Yi thought of something, and looked at Sarutobi Asuma with a faint smile. I'm still brooding over that incident. Gong Yi put the scroll on the table and didn't immediately put it away, but continued, or should I say, you really haven't given up wanting this answer. That's right, Lord Gong Yi, I really want to know who killed my brother. When Gong Yi finished speaking, Sarutobi Asuma clenched his fists and said to Gong Yi with a solemn face. Hearing Sarutobi Asuma finish speaking, Gong Yi smiled. As expected, the third generation still didn't tell you about it. I tried to ask again when I came back from Lord Gong Yi last time. Sarutobi Asuma nodded and bit Kiba and said, his whole person was obviously unwilling to give up. But father, he has always maintained an attitude of not telling me. Hee, I actually still want to tell you that what my father did for the third generation is correct. Gong Yi shrugged, looking at Sarutobi Asuma, who was very persistent. He continued. Even though you have grown rapidly in Konoha, I still want to tell you that your strength is still very weak. When Sarutobi Asuma heard this, he still looked solemn and replied without giving up. Lord Gongyi, but I have brought you all the futon, wind-style, ninjutsu collected by our family according to your original conditions. Sarutobi Asuma said for a while, and looked at Gongyi with a mixed face. There is also a collection of our Yuanfei family, for the futon, wind-style, secret technique created by futon, wind-style alone. But at this moment Sarutobi Asuma still did not give up, but he couldn't help being hit by Gongyi's words just now. The clenched fist, the blood vessels have been exposed at this moment. Obviously he is very unwilling to accept the reality. At the beginning, his strength was not enough, but now he already thinks that he has become very strong. But Gongyi just said, his strength is still very weak. Although Sarutobi Asuma is very calm, such a blow made him feel uncomfortable. A moment. Gongyi sealed the scroll on the table and put it away. Since you really want to know, then of course I won't break my promise. Thinking about it, Gongyi naturally had no reason to reject Sarutobi Asuma. Since he was still so persistent, Gongyi decided to tell him. In fact, it has been a long time since I knew it. Gongyi even thought that Sarutobi Asuma had given up, but he found out today that he still remembers it all the time. At the beginning, Sarutobi Asuma was just from Guardian Ninja 12. After disbanding and returning to Konoha. When he learned of the death of his brother and sister-in-law, he wanted to take revenge. However, Sarutobi Hiruzen did not reveal any information to him at all. Kakashi brought him over to find him in desperation. Well, Gongyi naturally couldn't really tell him, so he made a request to him. That is to use the Sarutobi clan to collect all the futon, wind-style, ninjutsu as a price, and tell him again. Did not expect. So long, it turns out that Sarutobi Asuma still remembers. Not until today that he asked himself this matter again. However, you have to think about it. Gongyi regained his senses, looked at Sarutobi Asuma, and continued, this enemy is not as simple as you think. Your brother led a small team of excellent ninjas, but they were all killed by him alone, and his strength is still unmatched by you. Hearing Gongyi's last question, Sarutobi Asuma nodded heavily and said, okay, Lord Gongyi, please tell me. Seeing that 320 Asuma had already shown his decision, Gongyi stopped talking nonsense with him and said slowly, he is a ninja from Sunagakur village in the Land of Winds. It's actually the Land of Wind. The ninja of Sunagakur village. Sarutobi Asuma was obviously taken aback when he heard this, completely unexpected. Nodding his head, Gongyi continued, but he has now become a missing nin, and what I know so far is that he joined the Akatsuki who attacked Konoha before. Class missing nin, Akatsuki. Sarutobi Asuma frowned, feeling a little grim. Akatsuki, he knows something. A mysterious organization that gathers many terrifying ninjas and is very powerful. If Gongyi hadn't suppressed them, the entire Konoha would have suffered heavy losses. As for the missing nin, Sarutobi Asuma understands this term very well. Who can become missing nin are almost all ninjas who have left their village for some reason. And the group of guys who are classified as missing nin is the more terrifying existence. Who is he? Gongyi looked at him half smiling, and said playfully, after you have this information, you should be able to tell who he is, right? Asuma pursed her lips, and a name came to her mind. Chapter 308. What are you doing when you are 12 years old? Sasori of the Red Sand. Known as the genius puppet stylist in the ninja continent. He is also the grandson of Chiyo, the consultant of Sunagakur village in the Land of Wind. His attainment of puppets is rumored to have been surpassed by no one. At this time, Sarutobi Asuma had already blurted out, and information about him appeared in his mind. Yes, you guessed correctly. Gongyi smiled, nodded and replied, it was Sasori of the Red Sand who killed your brother's team of one excellent ninja. Sasori of the Red Sand. Naturally, there is no need to question his strength. I had even fought with him at the beginning. Although he can easily suppress him, it does not mean that others can easily suppress him. Now about some information about Sasori of the Red Sand. The entire ninja world is only a general knowledge. Some specific things, I am afraid that apart from Gangyi himself knows, no one can know Akatsuki in detail. Sasori of the Red Sand, his ability to create puppets is not as simple as everyone thinks. In addition to his ability to create some puppets of different sizes, he even has the ability to transform the dead into puppets. In the entire ninja continent have such means, it is estimated that only Sasori of the Red Sand can do it. This humanoid puppet is naturally not under the overall planning scope. It refers to Sasori of the Red Sand. He can create the puppet with its chakra attached to it. In this way, the human-shaped puppet he created can completely retain all the ninjutsu and ninjutsu before his life. Kekkei Genkei, s. Thinking of this, Gangyi twitched the corners of his mouth and revealed a smile, looked at Sarutobi Asuma, who had a complicated expression on his face, and said, Asuma, I know why your father and I both think your strength, is it not enough to support your revenge? Having said this, Gangyi continued to slowly continue, and you should know by now, why your father's 3 generations have been refusing to tell you the truth of the matter. Yes. Sarutobi Asuma didn't know how to answer Gangyi, and he felt a little helpless sitting here. But immediately, Sarutobi Asuma retorted with some dissatisfaction, although it can't be done now, it doesn't mean it can't be done in the future. Hee. As soon as Sarutobi Asuma finished speaking, Gangyi smiled again. Asuma, Sasori of the Red Sand is not as simple as you think. Only in his 20s, he can become a missing nin, and everyone in the ninja continent will turn his back on him. The first-hand puppet technique is unparalleled, and Akatsuki, who is all made up of high-level missing nin, is added. Gangyi turned to Sarutobi Asuma and said the information about Sasori of the Red Sand here. He paused for a while, looked at Sarutobi Asuma with a half-smile, as if he remembered something, and said, forgot to tell you. Seeing Gangyi's appearance, Sarutobi Asi solves. Sasori of the Red Sand had 3 generations of Kazekage at the age of 12. Gangyi didn't stop, but said word by word, and also made him a unique humanoid puppet in the whole ninja world. Said this, Gangyi stared at the ape and asked slowly, then Asuma, what were you doing when you were 12 years old? Quote. The scene was silent. Sarutobi Asuma felt a sense of powerlessness when he was horrified by the information in Gangyi's mouth. Yes. Although now I know all this, it was Sasori of the Red Sand who did it. However, how can someone who can be called a missing nin be so simple that an ordinary guy understands it himself? But if Gangyi didn't say it just now, then he is still there, foolishly thinking that everything will be solved. Rank missing nin, how can Sarutobi Asuma, who he can defeat, know clearly that Sasori of the Red Sand is already a guy who can threaten the safety of Ninja Village? 4. Rank missing nin. Generally, the guys with the important information of the original Ninja Village on their bodies, they are not so scary. But the other is, they have stolen or cracked the forbidden technique in the village, and guys with all kinds of great talents or powers, they defected from the Ninja Village. This is what makes people feel so terrifying. Through Gangyi's intelligence, Sarutobi Asuma can clearly know. The strength of Sasori of the Red Sand is completely beyond the scope of normal ninjas. Sarutobi Asuma thought of this, and the words of Gangyi came to mind. Sasori of the Red Sand. At the age of 12, he assassinated 3 generations of Kazekage, and when he was 12, he was probably still under the protection of his father, carrying out some insignificant, even some ridiculous tasks. Sarutobi Asuma has started to realize and understand why Gangyi said those words before. Facing such an enemy by oneself, it is no longer possible to contend with this only strength. I am not as arrogant as Gangyi. With the power of contempt, naturally Sasori of the Red Sand is a fatal threat to me. Okay, now you can understand this. That's it. Seeing Sarutobi Asuma's dejected appearance, Gong Yi shook his head and said lightly, "As for other things, it's not something you can think about for the time being." Now Gong Yi, he naturally didn't let Sarutobi Asuma sink deeper and deeper. The next step is to arrive at Kurigakure village to visit and congratulate. Sarutobi Asuma has a distressed face, which is naturally unrealistic. Therefore, with such negative emotions, Gong Yi does not want Sarutobi Asuma to continue to appear. "Ming, I understand Lord Gong Yi." Nodding, Sarutobi Asuma heard Gong Yi finish, and the whole person immediately recovered in the haze. Now he naturally knows priorities of some things. Sarutobi Asuma is clear. Next, he will represent the village of Konoha, the son of his father Hokage, to go to the village of Kurigakure. The way I look now is really not suitable for me. Sarutobi Asuma has matured, not as naive as before. He had already received a lot of tempering in the land of fire. Some big and small things have also made Sarutobi Asuma recognize a lot of reality. Slowly I have come out in my own emotions. Sarutobi Asuma is no longer embarrassed and unable to revolving heaven, but looked at Gong Yi with the calm face before. "Master Gong Yi, I already know what you said." Standing up, Sarutobi Asuma didn't stay long, and finally said a few words to Gong Yi, and immediately out. At the same time, here Sarutobi Asuma just walked out. Gong Yi's eyes turned to the other side. 2. Chapter 309. Pointing. After Sarutobi Asuma left, Gong Yi could clearly perceive that not far from the other side of him, he could feel the power of the 8 inner gates. Has it progressed so much? Feeling this power, Gong Yi smiled and praised to himself. Presumably now that the mission is done like this, and the people who can seize the free time to practice, there is no one else except Might Guy. At the beginning, he had also taught him a lot of skills. In fact, if you think about it, Might Guy can be regarded as half of his apprentice. Thinking of this, Gong Yi stood up. The whole person immediately disappeared. The rear of the ship's deck. This is a spacious location with no facilities other than the surrounding high platforms and guardrails. Apparently, this is for people on board to enjoy the sea view. But at this moment, accompanied by a whistling sound of breaking through the sky, you can see a person practicing physical art there. I saw him with a watermelon head, thick eyebrows, a green tights, and Konoha's forehead guard around his waist. The man with such a special and strange taste is one of Gong Yi's visiting members, Might Guy. At this time, he is still practicing. Although there is a task in hand now, and the rest of the people are recharging their energy, Might Guy is indeed 320 who refuses to waste such time, and he continues to wave his arms. Fist. Out of the leg. Quick and powerful taijutsu is constantly being released by him. With a sharp sound of breaking the sky, Might Guy has already achieved a very high level of taijutsu. You can't waste this great youth. It seems that you need to strengthen training. Might Guy, who was already sweaty, was still throwing his fists and legs at this moment, and the whole person kept talking. Swish. This time, when Might Guy is still immersed in the joy of training. While in the middle, a figure suddenly appeared beside him. It's fast. Almost in a state of elusiveness. Now, if the shadow had not appeared beside him in person, Might Guy felt that he couldn't detect it at all. A change of face. Might Guy's aura suddenly erupted, immediately. One turned around and punched the figure. This natural reaction of the body made him unconsciously shoot. The speed is not slow, and you can even hear the sound of breaking through the air. If someone is hit by Might Guy's punch now, even if they don't die, they will definitely not be able to take it. But, wait, Might Guy is confident of his own blow, and hears a muffled sound. Then, there is silence all around. The punch he just punched was not in vain, but a real bombardment on the figure's body. But Might Guy was stunned. He felt that he didn't hit him just now, but hit an indestructible steel. Was extremely hard, and even he felt his fist being shaken. and at this moment, it was directly reflected on his entire arm through a chain reaction. Guy, it seems that your current practice results have made great progress. Front of Might Guy now, he looked at him with a faint smile. Gong, Lord Gong Yi. Might Guy also reacted at this time. The figure that suddenly appeared was Gong Yi. Can't believe it. Now Might Guy swallowed and looked at his fist. Gong Yi is just standing there, holding a finger against the violent punch he just received. My arm hurts now, and Gong Yi is standing there without moving. Especially, seeing Gong Yi's calm face, Might Guy felt even more terrifying. It's not a level of existence at all. Too awesome. Might Guy slowly retracted his arm, and immediately his eyes shone brightly. This is youth, so this is youth. Now I want to catch up with Lord Gong Yi. It seems that the road is still very long. Said that, Might Guy's whole body has already revealed a twitching look at the corners of his mouth. Cough. When Gong Yi saw Might Guy's appearance, he also immediately asked, Guy, how is your the 8 inner gates going now? Hearing Gong Yi asking himself, Might Guy also came back to his senses at this time, and immediately replied, after Mr. Gong Yi's previous instructions, if you really want to force it now, you can already open the 7th door. Can you open the 7th door? Hearing Might Guy's answer, Gong Yi was slightly surprised. Unexpectedly, after such a long time, Might Guy can already do this step. It seems that hard work can really catch up with talent. The 8 inner gates, there are Open Gate, Hue Gate, Life Gate, Injury Gate, Do Gate, Jing Gate, and Death Gate. Now that Might Guy can open the door to shock, he can basically become a complete master of the 8 inner gates. Even it seems that Might Guy should be very skilled now. But soon, Gong Yi regained his senses, also looked at Might Guy and continued, opening the 7th gate can be very powerful, but Guy, remember not to rely too much on the power of the 8 inner gates all the time. Thinking of some of the drawbacks of the 8 inner gates, Gong Yi reminded Might Guy, although it can force chakra to surpass this limit, thereby drawing out its own strength dozens of times stronger. But Gong Yi continued slowly, at the same time as you gain great power, you will also be damaged, and even serious things will endanger your life. Don't worry, Lord Gong Yi, I will use it carefully. Hearing Gong Yi's concern, Might Guy nodded and said very gratefully. As for the 8 inner gates, Gong Yi naturally told him these things. However, as time goes by, after people have tried the strength benefits it brings, this advice will gradually be forgotten. But when Gong Yi saw Might Guy, he was able to know that, it seems that such a thing will not happen to Might Guy. For this very hard-working, blue beast, Gong Yi has always admired it very much. At the beginning, it was through perseverance and hard work that I made it to where I am today step by step. Seeing Might Guy, Gong Yi couldn't help but recall the past. However, the sigh was quickly suppressed. Gong Yi looked at Might Guy again. The 8 inner gates can be opened so smoothly, it is probably related to your own training. After thinking for a while, Gong Yi looked at Might Guy and said, it just so happens that my disciple Kimimaro is also practicing the 8 inner gates. If you have time, you can give him some pointers. No problem, you can rest assured, Lord Gong Yi. But just after saying this, Might Guy suddenly felt that something was wrong. The practice of the 8 inner gates is all guided by Gong Yi in front of him. He is still happily agreeing to something and then quickly said again, Ahem, Lord Gong Yi, your attainment in the 8 inner gates is completely higher than mine. Maybe Kimimaro and I should be able to call it an exchange. Head, Might Guy looked at Gong Yi. Well, at most. Just impart a little experience that I have comprehended by myself. ... With the arrival of a new month, I hope everyone will vote for more monthly passes, subscribe automatically, and give some flowers. Philo reminds you, book 3 things to read, and push the latest chapter. Baidu search 99 playmates to find 99 novels. Chapter 310, All Missing Nin, 2nd. Ninja Continent, somewhere in a dark cave. Tick, tick, tick. The sound of dripping water filled the surroundings. In this somewhat damp cave, there are several people standing quietly here at this moment. They were indifferent, wearing black cannons embroidered with bold colored auspicious clouds. Konoha village has already sent a visit to Kurigakure village. At this moment, a man with orange hair looked forward and asked lightly. According to the information obtained earlier, their visit has already set off. Blink of an eye, as his words just fell, a woman with light blue hair next to him nodded and replied. Hee, Konoha guys are really worried. A sarcastic voice appeared. In front of the two, a man with a shark face and a large bandaged knife behind him sneered and continued. I think it's better to take advantage of the fact that they haven't reached Kurigakure village this time, and take this Konoha visit first. People are done. Destroy Konoha's visit. I remember this visit now, it should be Konoha's dark blue demon, led by Gangyi. Hearing this, the woman with light blue hair reminded aloud. What do you think of this opinion? The orange-haired man looked indifferent and was not moved by Gangyi's leadership. He looked at the people in front of him, obviously waiting for their answers. I saw in front of him a man with a hunchback figure and a black mask covering his face. There was also a man in a robe. His face was vaguely exposed, and the two nasolabial lines under Yuhi's pupils were very conspicuous. And a few others, figures hidden in the dark. Without exception, they are all silent at the moment. Hee, I think now this is a good opportunity to give it a try. Hearing the orange-haired man asking the crowd, and seeing that the rest of them didn't speak, the shark-faced man grinned, revealing a mouth of terrifyingly sharp kiba teeth. Well, while they were still talking out loud, the number of people in front of him, if Gangyi saw them, he would have recognized them immediately. They are Pain, Konan, Kisame Hoshigaki, Sasori of the Red Sand, Uchiha Itachi and others who attacked Konoha before and made the entire ninja continent wanted. All member missing nin is now called every member Akatsuki, a ninja village with a headache. I'm not interested in this matter, you can study it slowly. Wait, the rest of the people spoke. Sasori of the Red Sand, who was in Fei Liuhu, had an indifferent face and no thought at all, as they said they were about to control the puppet out of the cave. Oh, are you a little scared to hear that there is a dark blue demon with Konoha in this Konoha visit? Seeing Sasori of the Red Sand's indifference, Kisame Hoshigaki, who was standing there, gave him a cold look and said sarcastically. The words were over, he still curled his lips. With a swipe, he was obviously very dissatisfied with Sasori of the Red Sand's current attitude. The last time he was in Konoha village, he made a big loss. Now that he sees the opportunity to take revenge, he naturally doesn't want to let it go. After all, he will feel very excited to fight with an existence like Gangyi. Besides, if he succeeded in killing Gangyi this time, Kisame Hoshigaki would naturally be able to wash away his shame. Well, I'm scared. Hearing Kisame Hoshigaki finish speaking, Sasori of the Red Sand suddenly turned around and made a gloomy voice. If the dark blue demon of Konoha wanted to kill you, do you think you can still stand here? The words of Kisame Hoshigaki made Sasori of the Red Sand feel amused, and immediately laughed out loud. Although everyone is not talking about it at present, they are well aware of Gangyi's terrifying strength. But Kisame Hoshigaki, he actually mocked himself for being afraid of Sasori of the Red Sand who was inside the puppet. His face was a little cold. You must know that at the beginning, I still played against Gangyi. Sasori of the Red Sand really hasn't been afraid of him, despite knowing that he's getting stronger and stronger now. What do you say? When Kisame Hoshigaki heard Sasori of the Red Sand finish speaking, his whole face also became gloomy and cold. I heard right, you are saying. I will easily die at the hands of Gangyi. Looking at Sasori of the Red Sand, Kisame Hoshigaki felt a little uncomfortable. Previous Konoha battle made him very uncomfortable. Now Sasori of the Red Sand's words perfectly match what Kisame Hoshigaki thinks. Okay, this is the end of this discussion. Now all of you can complete the things I explained before. Pain interrupted them indifferently, and seeing that someone had already disagreed, he naturally did not discuss such meaningless things. At this time, when Pain finished speaking, Uchiha Itachi, who had no exit from the beginning to the end, left immediately. Swish, swish, swish. Immediately afterwards, the rest of the people who had no reaction to this matter also left one after another. Humph. Seeing that this matter had been suppressed, Kisame Hoshigaki also snorted and left. Unhappy in his heart, he didn't really fight here. In a short while, within the entire dark cave, Pain Yahiko was left standing here with Konan. What do you want to do next? Seeing everyone leave, Konan looked at Pain and asked. Now in Konoha's visit, Gongyi is already leading the team, and it is impossible to destroy them at will. Konan is also clear now. Wait. Hearing Konan's question, Pain turned his head to the side, and the pair of Rinnegan in his eyes seemed to be able to see through everything. Now that this matter occurs, naturally there will be people who come to us, who want to trouble Konoha, or Kurigakure village. It's not just us who are in trouble. ... Well, what you said is... Oh, he's right. This is... Konan was about to speak as if he was enlightened, but another voice suddenly appeared and interrupted him. I saw the void in front of them, and suddenly Uzumaki began to appear. Immediately, a man with an orange wooden mask appeared in it. On the ground in front of him, he also slowly revealed half of his body, looking at Pain and Konan. At the same time, just when Akatsuki got the information here, Gongyi and others were still there. The ship was quietly waiting to reach the land of water. The distance between the country of fire and the country of water is not too close. Even this old man who is driving a boat, he is very familiar with the route in front of him. But it's not possible to get there directly in the blink of an eye. The surrounding sea is endless at this moment, and the cold wind blows at night, causing waves to appear on the entire calm sea. The huge ship is riding the wind and waves at the moment, galloping in the direction of the land of water. Because of the huge Konoha logo, even if there were some wandering ninjas around, or guys who wanted to covet the goods on the ship, they also gave up their thoughts. A group of people still want to live, they don't want to rob a ninja ship in Konoha village. The ghost knows how many ninjas will be waiting for them when they go up. In this way, although the journey is not very fast now, everyone is still calm, and there are no people who can't open their eyes to disturb them. Inside the ship, Gongyi at this moment has returned from Might Guy's side. Enter. Chapter 311. Simply talking to Might Guy, Gongyi just went back to the house. There is still a long way to go to reach the land of water. Gongyi looked out at the gradually darkening weather, and estimated that no matter how fast he was, he would be able to get there at night. But it doesn't matter. Now Gongyi is not in a hurry, he took out the scroll that Asuma gave him before. Reopen. All of the above are all futon, wind-style ninjutsu. Some of what Gongyi knows, and some of what he has heard are almost all recorded on it. There are also a few secret techniques, which Gongyi glanced at first, but didn't read it too carefully. But now that he has a kung fu, he just re-examined it, and did not choose to study it here. After all, he has other things to do next, since the scroll has already obtained 3220. Now, Gongyi is not worried at all. Reason why I want to get it is that I also want to develop some new ninjutsu. After all, you have the ability to rule all dharmas, and you have to make good use of it yourself. I looked at it for a long time. Gongyi slowly retracted the scroll, he shook his head with a smile, and said with some admiration, I can't believe that the use of futon, wind-style ninjutsu by the Yuanfei clan has reached this level now. It seems that with these, my next research will be much smoother. Wink. While Gongyi was still studying the scrolls brought by Sarutobi Asuma, in a dark cave somewhere in the ninja land. Here, an unspeakable plan is going on. Madara, since you're here, tell me what you think. Pain asked with an expressionless face. His pair of Rinagans were quietly watching Obito, the masked man who appeared out of nowhere in the Uzumaki. Without a trace of surprise, now he seems to have guessed that Obito, the masked man, will come. If you want to do something now, you have to hurry. Gong Yi's visit with Konoha is about to arrive in the land of water. With his half-body exposed in the solid ground, he shrugged and said, "If you don't have any plans now, I suggest you don't do it lightly." "Oh, don't do it lightly." Pain looked at Ju, and his indifferent expression seemed to have no emotion at all. "Ja. You are afraid of him." "Ah, I didn't say anything." Seeing Pain's appearance, he also closed his mouth and didn't speak again. For this guy who claims to be a god, he doesn't want to provoke him for the time being. If I meet him now, then it won't be the end of the last time. Pain no longer looked at Zhuangju, a pair of terrifying reincarnations fluctuated. The scene where he played against Gong Yi is still in sight, although he came back with a disastrous defeat to Pain in the end. However, now Nagato, he still did not feel any fear or jealousy. Contrary, he is still confident that he has himself and can completely defeat Gong Yi. If his own power is fully exploded and Rinnegan is developed, he believes that no one in the entire ninja world can compete. Hey, although Konoha's visit has the dark blue demon, maybe it's a little troublesome. Masked Man Obito smiled, and he didn't look like he was in trouble, but continued, "But my current goal is naturally not them." The masked man Obito showed a hint of hatred on his face. But because of the orange wooden mask, this can't be done. The scene of the investigation was naturally undetected. Obito and the village of Kurigakure have a deep connection. The original Nohara Rin died at the hands of the village of Kurigakure. In this way, when Obito once controlled the 4 generations of Mizukage and implemented the blood fog policy, in fact, there was a certain amount of revenge. However, after his own plan was destroyed, Obito did not pay attention to the gradual decline of Kurigakure village. But now it's different. Kurigakure village has been allied with Konoha village, and has been rebuilt, and the entire Kurigakure village, which was previously decayed, has gradually begun to prosper, which Obito does not want to see. "Well, you mean?" Hearing the masked man Obito finish speaking, Conan has completely understood his thoughts here. Pain's face here is still expressionless, obviously now he is waiting for the masked man Obito to continue talking. "Yes, I think you should understand what I mean by now." Masked man Obito outlined a cold smile, and his only pupil that was exposed outside showed a cold glow. "Now that the Kurigakure village is showing signs of rising again, this will also be detrimental to our next plans." Quote. "So, I decided to destroy it again myself." The sky is covered with darkness, and night is slowly coming. At this moment, on the port of a water country, a big ship of Konoha is slowly approaching here. Sea breeze is swaying the waves, and it is smashing, pounding its surface. Despite its huge size, it wobbled slightly. But even so, it did not affect its sailing. "Lord Gong Yi, ahead is the port of the land of water. We'll get there in a little more time." At this time, the old man in charge of driving the boat said to Gong Yi who came to the cab. "He is very old, but he is very skilled in driving a boat. Especially in this dark night, despite the endless sea, he didn't get lost at all. And after driving for such a long time, the huge boat did not bump at all, which made people feel very comfortable." Gong Yi knew that the arrangements for him at the port seemed to be people with very rich experience. The old man must have had countless experiences of coming to this country of water. Soon, Konoha's ship that spans a large ocean won. The 6 slowly approached, and finally stopped gradually. N is the ship of Konoha. Should be the person who visited. At this time, after the ship had stopped, the ninjas from the village of Kurigakure who were guarding the port came here. In front of them is the exit of this ship. Everyone is looking forward now and their faces are not very good. Obviously, because of the Gong Yi incident, most people in Kurigakure village also had a kind of resentment towards the whole Konoha village. After all, the initiator of everything was the most respected person in their Konoha village. Even in the days to come, he may even become the highest ruler of the entire Konoha village, Hokage. In this way, now they take some anger on Konoha village, and they don't feel that there is something wrong there. Chapter 312. Arrive at Kurigakure. What are you doing? At this time, on the Konoha boat docked on the shore, one person got off first. He was wearing a green Konoha Jonin vest and carrying a backpack. With a beard on his face, he looked mature and stable. It is Sarutobi Asuma. Came to the deck, Gong Yi. Saw several Kurigakure village ninjas surrounded under the boat. So he was sent by Gong Yi to visit on behalf of Konoha and went directly to the dialogue. We are the ninjas of Konoha village. Seeing the poor face of the Kurigakure village ninja in front, Sarutobi Asuma continued. We are visiting on behalf of Konoha village, and now we come to congratulate Mizukage-sama on the inauguration ceremony. HMPH, if you say it, S a ninja from Konoha village, do you mean it's a ninja from Konoha village? At this time, a gloomy-looking Kurigakure village ninja snorted coldly. In fact, Sarutobi Asuma has proved everything enough, but it is clear that these Kurigakure village ninjas are deliberately making things difficult. I can't deal with them now, but I discuss them. This group of genins from Kurigakure village can still do it. Damn. Sarutobi Asuma bit Kiba secretly, and when the ninja from Kurigakure village in front of him finished speaking, he naturally knew that the ninja 29 from Kurigakure village in front of him was embarrassing them. But Sarutobi Asuma didn't talk nonsense anymore. Thinking about it, he wanted to take out 1% of the invitation cards in the backpack. This is an invitation letter sent by Terumi May a while ago. Of her taking office naturally invited several ninja villages. Otherwise, the other ninja villages would not be able to come here uninvited. Then how do you want to prove that we are the ninjas of Konoha village? At this time, Sarutobi Asuma was about to take out the invitation, but suddenly a hand was placed on his shoulder. Stopping the movement, Sarutobi Asuma sees that Gong Yi doesn't know when to appear next to him. At this moment, Gong Yi was showing a faint smile, looking at the ninja in the village of Kurigakure in front of him. He naturally knew that because the last time he entered Kurigakure village and almost destroyed it, the people of Kurigakure village had great opinions on him. Now that they are embarrassed to visit here, Gong Yi has long thought of it in his mind. It's Wood, Konoha's dark blue demon. Gong Yi, he actually came too. From Kurigakure village, who was still trying to embarrass Asuma just now, their expressions changed. They knew the man in front of him with a dignified atmosphere. Although everyone had a lot of hatred for Gong Yi, they didn't dare to show it now. Now in the entire ninja world, there are many people who hate Gong Yi, but few really express it. Not out of respect, but they don't dare. Especially now, the ninja from Kurigakure village, after seeing Gong Yi's appearance, can only bite Kiba's teeth and swallow. It turned out to be Lord Gong Yi from Konoha village. Jonin from Kurigakure village, who was in charge of the port, appeared, with a complicated smile on his face. With the appearance of Gong Yi, the people in the port were no longer noisy, and they were all quiet. Asuma, call Might Guy and they'll get off the boat when they're ready, let's go. Seeing a group of ninjas from Kurigakure village didn't talk any further, Gong Yi naturally didn't care, but looked at Sarutobi Asuma and said. With the passage of time, Gong Yi's whole person has naturally sublimated slowly. For the existence of these genins, Gong Yi won't even look at them. Could it be that the giant dragon would bow his head because of the mockery of the ants and look at them? Obviously, that is impossible. The night sea breeze blew gently on Gong Yi's face. After the episode just ended, Gong Yi left the port with Sarutobi Asuma and others. The current location is still some distance away from the village of Kurigakure. So they need to travel for a while before they can get there. Several people flashed away. It has now entered a jungle. Gong Yi was standing in the woods at this moment, on top of the tallest tree, slowly looking around. It can be seen that this jungle is not big, and you can go out almost very quickly. Keep moving forward. The scenery along the way is nothing, and they have left here after a while. A group of people looked at the unfamiliar environment around them, and from time to time they also looked to both sides with vigilance. They didn't care too much, though, as they were surrounded by sheer cliffs on their edges. Looking down inadvertently, there are torrents and waves under the steep cliffs, constantly scouring the reefs. Because the land of water itself is a large island country, its land area is not very wide and huge. After all, the whole country is surrounded by sea, and it is impossible to develop any large land. Not only that, in fact, in addition to special terrain, the surrounding islands centered on the entire water country, the residents there also have various customs and habits, which are very different from the ninja mainland. The whole country of water is here, no wonder it has rarely been invaded by war. A Jonin behind Gong Yi, he couldn't help sighing after looking at the scene around him. Yeah, after all, on an island alone, no one can waste resources to go to war with them. Another young Jonin nodded and said the same. Listening to the discussion of the people around, Gong Yi smiled and didn't say more. Because that's exactly what it is. Except, Kurigakure village and the others started civil strife on their own, or were dominated by some powerful people. Others, it is really rare to encounter the invasion war of outsiders. After all, if you really want to attack the land of water, then the resources consumed should be days. Not long. After nightfall, the temperature around 320 has slowly dropped. Because it is surrounded by sea on all sides, the wind howling all the way is also constant. Gong Yi and the others quickly passed through a barren place, and a small town in the land of water appeared in front of them. Although the country of water is not built on the ninja continent, and has little contact with the outside world. However, their development is not bad, and basically all the facilities that they should have are basically available. There are many small towns like this on the islands of the entire water country. Because of its proximity to the sea, the town is self-sufficient through the seafood industry, and it will not affect life at all. Thinking about it, in fact, the country of water was also very strong at the beginning. It's not bad to have the power of Jinchuriki column, the refined ninja army, and the 7 ninja swordsmen. Passing through the town, Gong Yi and others did not enter. In order to avoid some unnecessary trouble, Gong Yi did not choose to stay, but went directly to Kurigakure village. But now, looking from a distance in the whole town, there are almost no people. The empty streets are actually quite different from a prosperous country like the Land of Fire. Keep going. After passing this town, the location of Kurigakure village is not far away. At this time, they had entered a deep mountain, and they could vaguely see that the village of Kurigakure should be ahead. Just as they were on their way, a new generation of Mizukage Terumi also came to the door of the village. Please download the latest chapter of Fei Lu Shao Kan. Keep this paragraph, or block the collection of IP. Chapter 313. Still Water Deep Current. Kurigakure Village. It is located deep in the mountains, and the village is almost surrounded by mountains and mountains. The reconstructed village of Kurigakure is located just in front of this mountain range. After Gong Yi entered the deep mountain with the visit, the location of Kurigakure village in front of him was just an outline. Because of the night and the climate near the sea, it is very humid and foggy all around. When they officially came here, there was a white fog in front of them, as if they had come to the clouds. The entire area of Kurigakure village is covered by fog all year round, as if hidden in the mountains. However, although these white mists are like natural barriers, they can be a little confusing, especially at night like this. However, for Gong Yi et al., it does not work at all. They can do this, and they can see the building in front of the village of Kurigakure. Because it was rebuilt, it is completely different from the previous Kurigakure village. Lord Gong Yi, it seems that Kurigakure village has arrived. Seeing that there were already ninjas from Kurigakure village standing in front of them, Might Guy smiled and said to Gong Yi. Well. Seeing the Kurigakure village in front of him, Gong Yi responded lightly without saying much. A distance of hundreds of meters is just a blink of an eye for a ninja. After they appeared, they didn't show up again. That Kurigakure village ninjas stopped them. Because at this moment, a woman wearing a blue dress, she was standing there quietly. I saw her long brown hair, which completely covered her right eye, but this did not affect her beautiful face. Especially the kind of temperament that is all over her body, it is very enchanting and charming. It's the new Mizukage, she's still waiting for us so late. Sarutobi Asuma recognized the woman very quickly, and he was a little surprised, obviously not expecting it. After all, at this time of day, it should normally be the time for all to rest. He did not expect that this Mizukage Terumi-mei was still waiting for them. Yeah, but I think it's because Lord Gong Yi is there. At this time, another young Jonin said the same. But when he said this, the others couldn't help but look at Gong Yi in front of him. If you think about it, it really is. Maybe I and others don't have such a big identity, so I have to let Mizukage meet them in person. Gong Yi, who was in front of him and others, was indeed worthy of Mizukage's waiting. Everyone couldn't help but feel that this time, they really borrowed the care of Lord Gong Yi. Come to the front. Gong Yi saw that Terumi-mei had come over. A blue off-the-shoulder dress was very conspicuous on her body, and her white shoulders were exposed, which was very tempting. Especially her white and tender skin, as if it could drip out of water at the touch of a touch, it was wonderful. Of course. Now many people don't pay attention to these anymore. Because under the collar of his black fishing net, the arrogant Twin Peaks 2, which seems to be about to be stretched, has already made people linger. I can't believe that Lord Gong Yi personally came to Kurigakure village on behalf of Konoha. Terumi-mei has come to Gong Yi's eyes, looking at him with a charming smile. Seeing Terumi-mei's expression, the Kurigakure village ninjas on the other two sides were also stunned. Gong Yi in his eyes, there was a vague sense of resentment. Apparently, although Terumi-mei got the news that Gong Yi was coming, the rest of the Kurigakure village ninjas did not know that they saw Gong Yi. Their hearts are also somewhat hostile. Although I didn't dare to show it, they all started to stand there unnaturally. Apparently, Gong Yi's influence on Kurigakure village made him unstoppable. Forgive me. Hee, I didn't expect it to be so late that you are still standing here waiting, my lord. Gong Yi's handsome face twitched. He smiled, looked at Terumi-mei and replied. Please come in, the accommodation has been arranged for you. Terumi-mei saw that Gong Yi looked at him, and there was a hint of panic in his eyes. Actually very complicated about the Gong Yi in front of her now, and she can't tell what her feelings are. But soon, this kind of emotion has been suppressed by her. Wink. Gong Yi and others into the village of Kurigakure. Looking around, the buildings in the entire Kurigakure village are all brand new. Some paints have just been painted for a short time, and it can be seen that the colors are still very bright. Because the whole street is late at night, there are no civilian passers-by, but it can be seen that it is much more spacious under the reflection of the street lights. Next comparison, the interior and the former Kurigakure village are exactly the same. Two appearances. If someone like Gong Yi has been to Kurigakure village before, looking at it now, it will definitely have this thought. After a long street, they came to a very luxurious building. Here, it should be specially used to receive people from other villages. The house, everyone in Konoha entered the room and prepared to rest under the arrangement of the ninjas in the village of Kurigakure. Inauguration ceremony of Mizukage these days was not something they simply came to appreciate. Everyone naturally understands their mission. They represent the new generation of excellent ninjas in Konoha village, who come and go to deter other villages who are conspiring to do bad things. Gong Yi, wait a minute. Here, Terumi Mei stopped Gong Yi after seeing that the Kurigakure village ninja had left and Gong Yi's visiting members had also entered the room. What's wrong? Seeing Terumi Mei, Gong Yi asked slowly. Go to my office and talk about it. Good. Seeing that Terumi Mei seemed to have something to do, Gong Yi did not refuse. Although it was late in the night, a man and a woman. But he still chose to go. Crunch. Just after the two left, another door was pushed open. Kurenai Yuhi looked at Gong Yi who had already left, and a pair of beautiful eyes revealed a little complexity. Apparently, seeing Terumi Mei and Gong Yi leave now, Kurenai Yuhi's face is not very happy. Kurigakure village, inside Mizuka's office. Terumi Mei was sitting on a large chair at the moment, looked at Gong Yi who was sitting in front of him, and asked, I heard news that the current Uchiha clan has been wiped out overnight. Quote. True, but it's all settled. Gong Yi nodded, nothing to hide. Now this matter has been known to everyone in the ninja world, and he has no thoughts of keeping it secret. Then some of the other villages are not very stable now. Terumi Mei heard Gong Yi finish, and she said again, now that our villages of Kurigakure and Konoha are allied, I really did not expect such a thing to happen this time. Oh, it's exactly as you expected. Gong Yi stood up with a smile and walked slowly to Terumi Mei's side. Meanwhile, Kurigakure village, Forbidden Land. This is a dark tunnel with no lighting around. If someone is standing here, they can't see their fingers at all, and they can't see anything clearly. At the end of the dark tunnel, there is the place where Mizuka, the first generation of Kurigakure, built the blockade. At this moment, the one who is sleeping in it is the six-tailed rhinoceros. After Yugao was killed, the six-tailed inside of his body was resealed here by Terumi Mei. Because of the instability of the six tails, although it was sealed, the surrounding area is still a forbidden area for the entire Kurigakure village. No matter who they are, whether they belong to the high-level members of Kurigakure village or not, all who want to enter here must obtain the consent of Terumi Mei. But, at this time, outside the forbidden area, a group of ninjas from the village of Kurigakure were still there. While patrolling, there were indeed two people standing at the end of the sealed six tails. One with orange hair and a face full of indifference. One person wears a mask, only one pupil is exposed. They are the Pain Heavenly Path from the ninja world, and the masked man Obito. It seems that the six tails are not very stable now. Pain Heavenly Path looked at the seal in front. A pair of Rinnegan seemed to see through it, and could directly see the state of the six tails clearly. Hee, instability is the best, isn't that what I need most? Masked man Obito sneered, and walked forward, looking at the seal of the six tails. The more unstable it is, the more damage it will cause, the stronger it will be, and the correspondingly more controllable it will be. Ready to act when? This is a very interesting thing. Of course, it will be best to wait until the Mizuka Jonin ceremony starts. Masked man Obito looked at the seal in front of him, but he didn't immediately untangled, but looked back at Pain Heavenly Path and replied with a sneer. Hearing this, Pain Heavenly Path did not say more, but looked at the masked man Obito in silence. Nodding slightly, Fei Lu reminds you, 3 things to read, collect, push and read the latest chapter. Baidu search 99 Playmates find 99 Novel Network. Chapter 314, Konoha's Younger Generation, Second More. Just when Pain Heavenly Path and Masked Man Obito were standing in the forbidden area, the patrols of Kurigakure village and the people around them did not find anything at all. Mizuka's office at the moment. Terumi Mei didn't notice anything wrong, but saw Gong Yi say half a word and suddenly walked towards him. Her face was stunned, she didn't understand what Gong Yi was going to do. But, what awaits her is not some contemptible thing. I saw Gong Yi walking slowly behind her and looking out the window. In Terumi Mei's office, the layout is almost the same as that of Hokage's office. The position behind Terumi Mei now also has a small round window. Although it is not very big, Gong Yi can clearly see the Kurigakure village outside. Looking down, after the renovation of the entire Kurigakure village, the old appearance has completely disappeared. Brand new, like a new life. Kurigakure village outside, Gongyi smiled and continued slowly. The reborn village does look different from the decayed look before. Gongyi looked outside, but didn't mention anything about Konoha village. Coming here this time, for Terumi May or Kurigakure village, I am just a normal visit. A few other things, Gongyi didn't plan to say more. Well. Terumi May turned her head and looked at Gongyi's back. A pair of beautiful eyes showed a trace of ripples. It's impossible to guess what she looks like at the moment. What is going on in her heart now? Night passed by in a blink of an eye. The dark sky gradually became bright, and the whole village of Kurigakure began to become noisy. Konoha village and others who had just arrived last night, they all packed up early and were ready to go out. There are still 2 days before the inauguration ceremony of Mizukage in Kurigakure village, because it is still preparations. After talking with Terumi May last night, nothing happened. Gongyi returned to the room arranged by Kurigakure village early. Today, although it is very lively outside, Gongyi has no plans to go out and hang out. Not that he doesn't want to go out, but because of what he's done before, if he's walking down the streets of Kurigakure village now. Afraid that many civilians in Kurigakure village will not be able to restrain their hatred, and they will naturally not be as restrained as the ninjas in Kurigakure village. So, for these unnecessary troubles, Gongyi still chooses to stay here and practice quietly. After all, some unnecessary things, Gongyi did not want to happen during the visit. Of course. Although Gongyi decided not to go out, Might Guy didn't have too many concerns. The few people who had been out very rarely before would miss such a rare opportunity. Usually, they have been bored in the Konoha village, or they are on business, and they are basically in a serious intense state. Now they came here as a visit, but when they walked out, they realized that they were thinking too much. In response to the arrival of the outer village ninjas, in order to avoid some information loss, Kurigakure village specially designated a separate area to entertain them. However, the nature inside is not only Konoha village and others, but also other foreign visiting ninjas from Omura. Basically, most of them are young people, and most of them are ninjas with powerful talents. Originally, there was some connection between the village and the village, so when they collided with some hated ninjas, the consequences can be imagined. Night gradually came. Above the clear sky, he was gradually covered with a layer of black. Guy, why are you so disheartened when you go out? Just walked out of the room, and happened to run into Might Guy who came in. Seeing his appearance, Gongyi asked with a frown. I'm fine, Mr. Gongyi. I met a guy from Sunagakure village before and had a little discussion. The dust on his body, Might Guy scratched his head and laughed, but I didn't expect that this kid actually mastered the puppet technique, but his puppets were also kicked away by me, so it probably won't work anymore. Is that so? Hearing Might Guy finish, Gongyi was thoughtful. In fact, he already knew in his heart that these visiting ninjas in the village, they should be deliberately provocative. 1. To test the strength of the group of ninjas that he brought. 22. I also want to see how the overall strength of Konoha village is. The changes in Konoha these few times have given outsiders a feeling of turning from prosperity to decline. Especially the powerhouses of the older generation, who died when they walked, and even the ninja giants like the Uchiha family were completely exterminated overnight. Under such a predicament, the only ones who can support Konoha are the young ninjas. Thinking of this, Gongyi shook his head and smiled. Pity. Idea is good, but they also think too much. Konoha focuses on training, and basic education is second to none in the ninja continent. 4. The cultivation of the younger generation of ninjas has never been left behind. Therefore, the new generation of powerhouses in Konoha as a whole now has endless levels. Although Konoha village seems to have lost a lot of ninjas now, there are also many excellent flames that can replace them. In front of him or just one of them. Soon, After Might Guy's side just came back, the others also came back one after another. There is no accident. Judging from their state, Sarutobi Asuma and Kurenai Yuhi who were out before also seem to have encountered a similar situation. But Gong Yi didn't ask any further questions. Sometimes it is a good thing for them to suffer a little loss, and it seems that they are not injured, so they should be very restrained. Contrary, Gong Yi is still a little worried about visiting ninjas from other villages, and they may suffer a big loss. Like Might Guy, his physical skills have been trained by himself, and ordinary people can't approach him at all. And Sarutobi Asuma, the son of Hokage, has deep learning and talent in ninjutsu. After training in the Fire Nation's daimyo, there must be very few of his peers who can defeat him. And Kurenai Yuhi, Gong Yi, not so worried. As the Grandmaster Demonic Illusion, she is probably the most unavoidable. I'm afraid that some people, without noticing anything, entered the demonic illusion and were directly defeated. Go back to the room. Gong Yi also slowly suppressed his thoughts, and felt a sigh of relief in his heart. It's actually a good thing today. After all, the purpose of this trip is, basically half of it has been completed. Next, what I need to pay attention to is only the ceremony of Mizukage taking office. Chapter 315, The Biggest Surprise. 2 days later. The inauguration ceremony of the 5 generations of Mizukage was grandly opened. Today's Kurigakure village is different from what it used to be, and the streets are bustling with people. On this very important day, the previously gloomy village of Kurigakure is now fully alive. Everyone wants to witness the biggest moment in Kurigakure village right now. The entire Kurigakure village, in addition to some high-level officials from the Kurigakure village arrived, some officials from the Land of Water also came here. The streets of Nuoda are now full of civilians, and there are many ninjas in the village of Kurigakure on both sides of the surrounding area to maintain order. Mizukage building in the center of the entire Kurigakure village has begun to be surrounded by people. There are only some places that have been opened up separately, which are not so crowded. There, the Kurigakure village is specially divided for foreigners to visit. The people standing here at this time, they have come here early. Not all of them gathered together, but all of them were separated by a distance. It can be seen from the forehead guards they wear that this time, people from Sunagakure village, Kurigakure village, and several large villages from Kumogakure village have come here. Everyone's face is bright now, but after they saw the Konoha interview from the side, it gradually became a little unnatural. Who led the group were all watching Gong Yi and the new generation of ninjas in Konoha village behind him. Gong Yi's tyranny does not need to be questioned, and everyone does not dare to mention it too much. However, Sarutobi Asuma behind him was secretly discussing by a group of other ninjas who were visiting. That's the guy in the green tights. His physical skills are very strong. A Jonin from Sunagakure village Bitkiba looked at Might Guy and said, his power is so easy to destroy several of my puppets. That guy's taijutsu, according to rumors, was taught by the dark blue demon of Konoha. Another Sunagakure village Jonin smiled, paused and continued, do you think he might not be strong? The captain is. I also suffered a big loss last time. Here, a Jonin from Kumogakure village looked forward and said to himself. Oh, it's Sarutobi Asuma. Strong Jonin who was in charge of the visit to Kumogakure village. He followed his gaze to Sarutobi Asuma and smiled. This guy, he actually came back from the private army directly under the daimyo in the Land of Fire. The private army of the Fire Country daimyo. Hearing this, Kumogakure, who was a little unconvinced just now, beside him showed confusion. Yes, that privately affiliated unit can actually be called the 12 Guardians of the Fire Ninja. Captain Kumogakure looked at Asuma in front of him and continued. I saw in the information before that they are a total of 12 ninja elites, who are specially responsible for protecting the daimyo of the country of fire. Haha, it's not a shame that you can lose in his hands. Captain Kumogakure shook his head. Look, we really underestimated the strength of Konoha village, they are still very strong. Just a moment. The whole 4 weeks of the visit, the rest of the people. Seeing the Konoha visit led by Gong Yi, most people felt a little uncomfortable. After all, a few days ago, they all suffered a lot from him. But there is no way, now they are following behind Gong Yi, everyone can only suppress if they are not convinced. But while they're still here, go follow the Konoha interview and others behind Gong Yi. A group of civilians from the surrounding Kurigakure village and some ninjas from the Kurigakure village saw Gong Yi. Although the ninjas of Kurigakure village were also afraid of his strength, they didn't show it too much. Of commoners showed their hatred undisguised. They didn't expect that this time, Gong Yi would lead the team to congratulate Mizukage on taking office. At the same time, of the entire Kurigakure village, there was chaos. Inside the Kurigakure Forbidden Area, Pain Heavenly Path and Obito, the masked man, are still standing here. Around here, although there are still ninjas from the village of Kurigakure, they are strictly guarding them. But he didn't notice at all that there were 2 people standing there for a long time. They didn't talk to each other anymore, but just waited here quietly for something. Next second. It can be clearly seen that the land in front of the 2 of them is slowly changing. The land that was supposed to be incomparably firm, actually began to loosen slowly like a swamp. A man wrapped in 2 huge leaves showed his half-black and half-white body. Looking at him with green hair and yellow eyes, he looked very strange, but Obito, the masked man, didn't care, but asked lightly, "Ju, what's going on over there?" It started, and now all the people are gathered at the Mizukage building. Nodding his head, he never said more, but answered him immediately. "Hee, then we can start here too." Hearing Ju, the masked man Obito's smile gradually turned cold. "Today, I also want to give Kurigakure village a big surprise." Saying that, he stepped forward. Front of the masked man Obito, there was an extremely dark open space with nothing on it, just a cross-shaped curse mark. All of them are densely packed with small spells, and each character can also be seen on it, and it is also mixed with very cumbersome sealing techniques. Somewhat profound. Obviously, the thing sealed by it is an extremely terrifying existence, and it is completely sloppy at all. But despite this, Obito, the masked man at the moment, didn't feel any trouble. I saw his quick hands hand seal, and then press the seal in front of him. At this time, a dazzling light suddenly appeared all around. The tunnel that was originally invisible, has now begun to become bright. Front of the masked man Obito, it actually started to loosen and then quickly faded away. Immediately after that, a terrifying force soaring to the sky erupted, covering the entire location here. In addition to this momentum, there is also a kind of anger mixed with it. Rumbling, the whole tunnel began to vibrate. Countless rubble began to fall, and when this crossed, the seal was completely disintegrated and disappeared. Only a deafening sound appeared, and a dark shadow slowly appeared in front of the masked man Obito. It is so huge that it seems that it is about to burst the huge tunnels around it now. The 6 thick tails behind him are still flowing with some mucus-like objects. Seeing everything in front of him, Obito, the masked man, did not show a trace of panic. Instead, at this moment, he raised the corner of his mouth and smiled. "Wake up, 6 tails." Chapter 316. Crazy 6 Tails. Wake up, 6 tails. When he saw the huge black shadow in front of him, Obito, the masked man, looked up at it. Boom! I saw that after the huge black shadow slowly recovered, 6 stout tails waved towards the surroundings. The entire huge tunnel collapsed in an instant, and countless rubble began to fall down to create a loud rumbling sound. Ju saw this scene, the whole person has slowly melted into the whole land and disappeared. Pain Heavenly Path, who had been silent for a while, also disappeared, and when he reappeared, he was already outside. Masked man Obito, the void in front of him began to look like Uzumaki, and directly inhaled him. With the departure of the three people, the entire solid tunnel has completely collapsed and was completely destroyed. When the shadow was revealed to the sun, its features were fully revealed. Whole body is white, and the mucus is still flowing on it, and it falls to the ground tick by tick, making people look at the scalp and feel numb. The six tails swayed continuously behind him, and in front of the huge body, two arms with very disproportionate proportions shrugged. Six tails, rhinoceros. Its seal has been completely released by the masked man Obito. What's the situation? That's the six tails. Has its seal been broken? Village of Kurigakure, who are guarding this place, have not recovered from the shock of the tunnel collapse when they see that the six tails have appeared. The white body and six thick tails are very conspicuous, and the Kurigakure village ninja's face is horrified, and immediately recognizes its identity. Everyone has absolutely no idea what all this is about. Heavenly Path Pain and Obito, the masked man, seem to disappear out of thin air, and all the ninjas in the village of Kurigakure didn't even see the two of them from beginning to end. At the same time, when the six tails have been revealed in front of everyone's eyes, in an unnoticed position in front of it, Uzumaki began to appear above the void, and then Obito, the masked man, walked out of it. I saw that his dark pupil just now began to change. Yuhi, the orangutan, seemed to have magic power at this moment, looking directly into the two eyes of the six-tailed rhinoceros. Start destroying. Roar. The six-tailed rhino gave a roar. It was already violent just now, and it became even more crazy, and its six tails were like chains and steel whips constantly waving. Although the power of the six-tailed rhinoceros is not tyrannical among the entire nine-tailed beasts, it is not at all this group of Kurigakure village ninjas. Resistible. It, in the end, is still a tailed beast, and it is the destructive weapon of the entire ninja continent. Quick, stop it. The leader of the Kurigakure village ninja in charge of this side, Yuhi, rolled his eyes immediately. Shout. Damn. All around Kurigakure village ninjas are also immediately. Reaction. Dodge towards the six-tailed rhinoceros. Whoosh whoosh. One after another, the shuriken kunai threw out in front of the six-tailed rhinoceros. Immediately afterwards, several Kurigakure village ninjas stood up to hand seal. Sweden, water style, water dragon bullet. Sweden, water style, wild water wave. In the next second, one after another, Sweden, water style, shot up into the sky and continued to bombard the six-tailed rhinoceros ahead. The continuous compound ninjutsu was quickly used by the well-trained Kurigakure village ninjas. At the same time, just when the six tails were released, the whole Kurigakure village felt strange. Especially just now, there was a loud noise in the forbidden area not far away, making the entire lively village unusually quiet. Although it was on the periphery, the rumbling sound still reached the ears of every ninja. Just now, everyone following Gong Yi, all of them looking in the direction of the sound. A group of densely packed civilians showed fearful expressions on their faces, while those ninjas frowned. Hearing the voice of Gong Yi, he also looked there. But at this moment, he didn't show any fear like others. Contrary, through his powerful consciousness, he has now sensed what happened there. Six tails. Rhinoceros. Quietly feeling the fluctuation of the tailed beast's power, Gong Yi raised the corner of his mouth and revealed a faint smile. It seems that this time Mizukage's inauguration ceremony was not as peaceful as he imagined. The whole restored Kurigakure village seems to make some people feel uncomfortable. This sound came from the forbidden area. At this time, Terumi Mei, who was standing on the platform of the Mizukage building, showed surprise on her face. There is a problem with the forbidden area. The rest of the Kurigakure village high level, their faces are also very bad. Now that everyone has no mood at all, let's continue this ritual. Them. The core old guys, but they all know that the place where the seal is. Six-tailed rhinoceros. Bang. Just when everyone is still. Suspicion, there are pieces in the distance. White smoke wafted out. In this flash of lightning, everyone could no longer be calm. In the battlefield of the 6 Tales of the Forbidden Land, the Kurigakure village ninjas who have just released Suiten, water style, are scattered everywhere. Their ninjutsu is completely useless. Above the empty field in front, there are already many corpses lying on the ground at this moment, all of them died tragically. Some places are even bubbling. White smoke, very seriously corroded. The 6-tailed rhinoceros didn't stop, it's still there, madly venting its power. It was destroying in the direction of Kurigakure village. Damn, we can't shake it at all. Kurigakure village with a dusty face, he secretly said breathlessly. No, we can't let it. It enters the village of Kurigakure. Another Jonin in charge of Kurigakure village here, he immediately. Big drink points forward. Forbidden area is not far from the village of Kurigakure. If it continues like this, it will enter the village of Kurigakure after a while. Village of Kurigakure, which was rebuilt with great effort, will be completely destroyed. Swish, swish, swish. There are only a few Kurigakure village ninjas left, and they heard that they were biting Kiba and chasing the 6-tailed rhinoceros. Although the heart is very terrifying, but still dare not really let it leave the forbidden area. Before they reached Luwei's eyes, there was a sudden drum in its mouth. Quick, leave. PFF'd. The ninjas in the surrounding Kurigakure village didn't even say a word, and they were all buried in the attack of the 6 tails. I saw the 6 tails, he just spit out a white liquid in his mouth. It is highly corrosive, the solution. As soon as it appeared, it was still bubbling on it, a scalding white mist, which melted immediately before leaving. Hee, let's go. Obito, the masked man standing at the back, smiled coldly. Since you have experienced a new life, then you must learn to despair. Chapter 317. 6 Tails Raging. Boom, boom. Huge bangs kept appearing, and the surrounding trees kept falling and breaking, stirring up pieces of dust. Whole army of ninjas in the village of Kurigakure, who was in charge of guarding the forbidden area, was destroyed. The 6-tailed rhinoceros had already gone in the direction of the village of Kurigakure. Now it is insane, completely devoid of consciousness, almost just acting on the instinct of destruction. Although the size of the 6-tailed rhinoceros is huge, the speed is not hindered because of this. Just a short while later, Mukuro's 6-tailed rhinoceros was left in ruins, and it has already seen the Kurigakure village. The outline appeared in the eyes. Then, what the hell is that? Run, run. When the 6-tailed rhinoceros can see the Kurigakure village, everyone in the village can naturally see it, which is not far away. Village of Kurigakure, which has been celebrating almost everywhere, has begun to be in chaos. Many civilians can see the huge rhinoceros, and its 6 tails swinging back and forth are very striking, making people feel chills in their hearts. In the words, everyone is already full of fear. Woo woo woo, Mom, I'm afraid. Don't block me, get out of the way. Looking at the white fog in front of them, the huge black shadow in it was getting closer and closer to them, and everyone was pale and shouted. They couldn't calm down any longer. As civilians, they didn't have the courage to face this terrifying monster at all. The countless civilians who had just surrounded the Mizukage building, some of them had already started to flee. That's 6 tails. Terumi Mei, who was standing on the platform, changed her expression, and roared in fear, quick. Everyone, get out of here. Saying that, she was still concerned about the Mizukage's inauguration ceremony, and the whole person immediately dodging towards the position of the 6-tailed rhinoceros. Water. Mizukage, Sama. Standing behind Terumi Mei, Chojuro saw that Terumi Mei had left before he could react. When the words fell, he, who was carrying a large sword, immediately chased after him. This almost only happened in an instant. When Terumi Mei had left the platform, the whole Kurigakure village ninjas came back to their senses in fear. Everyone suppressed the negative emotions and began to evacuate the civilians of the surrounding Kurigakure village. On the other side, visited the villages in Kurigakure village, they naturally all looked there. Exception. Whether it was Sunagakure or Kumogakure, they all felt a chill in their hearts, and they felt troubled when they saw the huge six-tailed rhinoceros in front of them. The whole chaotic Kurigakure village, at this moment, only Gong Yi was standing here calmly, without showing the slightest expression on his face. As if the six tails that were already approaching in front of him didn't matter to him at all. Not only that. This time, Gong Yi even looked at the huge six-tailed rhinoceros inside the white mist and said, "Hey, this six-tailed rhinoceros, I remember cutting off one of its tails at the beginning." However, shaking his head quickly, Gong Yi continued to sigh with emotion. "It seems that over the years, I slowly used chakra to replenish it." Boom! A loud noise began to come from the front. Seems that Terumi-mei has begun to fight against it at this moment. The entire village of Kurigakure was shaking like an earthquake, and even the surrounding buildings collapsed. Some streets, with the battle that occurred after the approach of the six-tailed rhinoceros, cracks like spider webs began to appear, and they continued to spread. It can be seen that the battle situation at Terumi-mei must be very fierce. Shoo, shoo, shoo. Around Gong Yi, many elite ninjas from Kurigakure village, their faces were ashen, were already shuttled on the roof, and they were supporting Terumi-mei. All of them quickly hand-sealed with both hands, and made a ninjutsu stance toward the front. Soon, the rest of the people also quickly went in the direction of the six tails. Except Kurigakure village and others, most of them were watching the lively state here and did not help. Coming to the side, you can see that the six-tailed rhinoceros has walked out of the jungle, less than 100 meters away from the entire Kurigakure village. But it didn't go any further, because Terumi-mei had already intercepted it here. Yoden, lava style, monster melting. Terumi-mei's mouth immediately spit out thick lava and threw it directly towards the six-tailed rhinoceros. Sweden, water style, water dragon bullet technique. Sweden, water style, water dragon technique. One by one, the excellent Kurigakure village ninjas unleashed their ninjutsu as well as Terumi-mei. The finished ninjutsu, like a tsunami, swallowed the six tails directly. Did you succeed? At this time, the ninjas in the surrounding Kurigakure village looked happy, and all looked at the location of the six-tailed rhinoceros. Oh, it's really a little naive. Gong Yi, who was standing at the back, looked at everyone in front of him with a sneer on his face. Although the six-tailed rhinoceros is not tyrannical among the tailed beasts, it is definitely not something that Kurigakure village can solve when it is in a state of rampage. Whoops. That's true. As soon as Gong Yi's voice fell, the six-tailed rhinoceros who had just been engulfed by ninjutsu immediately appeared again, huge six tails at once. Swipe it. The speed is fast. Not only that, the six-tailed rhinoceros even opened its mouth and immediately spit out a highly corrosive solution. Under this sudden attack, every ninja in the village of Kurigakure, before they could be shocked, they only felt a shadow appeared above their heads. Boom boom, hula lala. Heavy losses, countless Kurigakure villages. The ninja was killed at this moment without even screaming. Only Terumi-mei and Chojuro and a few elite ninjas retreated to the gate of Kurigakure village in embarrassment. Seeing this scene, the visits from other large villages and the other high-level ninjas of Kurigakure village were stunned. There were also many daring onlookers before, who were all stunned and slumped on the ground, stupidly looked up at the six-tailed rhinoceros. Roar! At this time, the six-tailed rhinoceros seems to be completely provoked. It made a huge roar and began to gather terrifying energy in front of his eyes. Countless black light spots began to appear, and they kept condensing in front of the six-tailed rhinoceros out of thin air. No, that's tailed beast bomb. Terumi-mei's heart was stunned, and there was no blood on her face. The surrounding Kurigakure village ninjas and high-rises, they have a feeling of powerless revolving heaven. Tailed beast bomb has begun to condense more and more. The huge purple-black sphere has appeared in front of everyone's eyes. At this time, when Gong Yi saw that the six tails actually started to release the tailed beast bomb, he frowned, moved and disappeared in place. Chapter 318. Ridiculous Tailed Beast Bomb, 2nd. Kurigakure village, it's over again. Tailed beast bomb, who was unable to stop it. A Kurigakure village executive showed despair on his face. What should we do? Are we dead? Each Kurigakure village have all ugly faces. Even the other Omura who were standing were visiting, and their minds went blank for a while. For a moment. The power of the tailed beast bomb is well known to all. Although it looks like there is only one, it doesn't seem to have much terrifying destructive power. It's all an illusion. On the contrary, a simple one-tailed beast bomb can have earth-shattering destructive power. To put it bluntly, the tailed beast bomb they know is an energy ball compressed by mixing chakra. So, it is a one-tailed beast bomb in front of the six-tailed body, if it is released. Then with its power, the entire village of Kurigakure can be easily destroyed. Everyone sees its appearance and already feels the scalp tingling. But this will them noticed Gong Yi leaving. Where all are desperate, helplessly watching six tails have released tailed beast bomb. Terumi Mei, the group of ninjas from Kurigakure village, the commoners who have stopped walking around, and visits from various villages. Everyone's attention is now on the six tails in front of them. The huge purple-black-tailed beast bomb was immediately released by the six tails. A sound of breaking the sky appeared, and the speed was very fast. At this moment, everyone could clearly see that it was moving towards him and others. Here is howling. The powerful force of destruction shakes the four directions, so that people here in Kurigakure village can clearly feel it. Although they are still some distance away, everyone can smell the extremely dangerous feeling. Run, it's no longer too late. Everyone stared blankly at the tailed beast bomb in front of them. Some timid beings were trembling all over, and their calves were soft. More people, they are also completely bloodless. Because everyone feels that they are very likely to be destroyed here along with the entire village of Kurigakure. But at this time, Terumi Mei was already biting on Kiba and resolutely stood in front of her. She wants to use her Kekkei Genkei to make a bet. Although her strength is not very tyrannical, she is not afraid of tailed beasts. But, despite this, she also felt more powerless when facing the village that needed protection. But now she didn't want to run away, but chose to stand up. If you can avoid it now, then what is the difference between Karataki Yagura and Karataki Yagura? With a serious face, Terumi Mei has prepared for all possible faces. Of course, some people have closed their eyes and even stood here waiting to die time. Everyone saw a figure standing above the sky in front of them. This is how he carried his hands on his back, and the whole person was quietly set off by the void. Although he is completely in two extremes compared to the six tails, he is very small. He is now reflected in everyone's eyes, incomparably tall. Because everyone recognized him. That man, who can suppress the entire ninja world, Almost when the tailed beast bomb bombarded quickly, a chakra power that belonged to Gong Yi broke out. Sweden, water style, glass sky. Amidst the shocked expressions of countless people, a crystal-clear blue water curtain first appeared in front of Gong Yi. Immediately afterwards, the endless water vapor around it surged wildly, and then it began to spread endlessly. Finally, it gradually began to form a blue water curtain, and everything in the entire Kurigakure village shrouded in here. Gong Yi's face above the sky. Rong is still indifferent, not showing a little bit of despair when facing tailed beast bomb. On the contrary, he doesn't care at all. Boom! A muffled sound appeared. The tailed beast bomb that couldn't be defended. When it hit the water curtain, it only caused a slight ripple. The chakra of sage art was released, and it was just still there. A water curtain like a rippled water wave, it actually slowly became calm. As if there was just such a tailed beast bomb right now, it couldn't make it turbulent at all. Shocked all. Everyone was stunned. Whether it's the ninjas from the village of Kurigakure, the visiting ninjas, or the group of civilians. They all stared at the surrounding, this crystal water curtain that appeared out of thin air. It is elegant and beautiful, as if it can be broken at any time. Now everyone swallowed when they saw the terrifying tailed beast bomb and couldn't shake it at all. The scene was silent for a while. It's Lord Gongyi who shot it. Might Guy saw Gongyi in front of him, and his face was filled with a sense of pride. From the very beginning, he actually had no worries. Because Might Guy knew clearly that he would not die here, because it was Gongyi who brought them to Kurigakure village. And Sarutobi Asuma and other outstanding young Konoha village ninjas were also proud. Especially the current Kurenai Yuhi with Yuhi dizzy on her cheeks, just looking at Gongyi who is like a god, her eyes are full of admiration. This man doesn't care. Wherever you go, it seems that it will bring its own endless brilliance. Yes, it's Gongyi. Terumi Mei, who is still here, has not recovered. The pair of proud twin peaks too in front of her are constantly rising and falling. She just stood at the front like this, completely feeling incredible. A pair of beautiful eyes, staring at Gongyi at this moment, secretly said with some excitement, Gongyi actually shot. Not just her. The rest of the Kurigakure village ninjas who had some opinions on Gongyi before, and the Kurigakure civilians who had some hatred, couldn't help but look at Gongyi at this moment. After they saw such a visual impact, the view before this moment actually no longer exists. At this moment, everyone slowly, even a little bit more awe and admiration. No one knows Gongyi, how terrifying he is. The people of Kurigakure village are famous for being good at sweeten water style. Now, when they saw Gongyi unleashing this suspected sweeten water style defensive ninjutsu, they no longer dared to think about it. Because of that alone, it seemed that the ninjutsu that Gongyi unleashed at will, could easily resist tailed beast bomb. Everyone was actually stunned. However, now Terumi Mei has to be lucky. This glazed canopy was developed by Gongyi with the help of the sweeten water style ninjutsu she gave. This time, she probably never thought that it would be used to save the entire Kurigakure village. At this moment, Gongyi didn't pay attention to the people behind him, instead he was looking at the six tails outside the sky indifferently. Roar! At this time, the current six tails are already violent. When it saw Gongyi, its entire body trembled even more violently. As if it has recognized it now, this is the guy who hurt itself in the past. Thinking about it, at this moment, a one-tailed beast bomb has condensed in front of it again. Obviously want to use quantity to suppress Gongyi's quality. But at this moment, when he saw Gongyi who released tailed beast bomb again, the corner of his mouth twitched into a smile. Next second, when the second tailed beast bomb of the six tails has descended towards him. With a flick of his wrist, Gongyi threw out several unique kunai that revealed the glazed sky. Come on. To read the novel without underline. Chapter 319, Horaishin Guiding Thunder. When the six-tailed rhinoceros at the moment, it released the second-tailed beast bomb. Gongyi directly threw out a number of kunai qualities, through the glazed sky. Whoosh, whoosh. The kunai of a few special envoys turned into a number of black shadows and shot straight towards tailed beast bomb's body. This moment, when everyone was secretly bad, they didn't understand what Gongyi did. That kunai is in everyone's eyes, they don't see anything at all, and they have entered into being swallowed by the tailed beast bomb. Was like falling into a swamp, completely absorbed by the terrifying tailed beast bomb. But, next second, tailed beast bombs, which were just huge, suddenly disappeared at this moment. Trace, as if it had never appeared at all. Everyone's faces showed surprise. It was just. Gongyi threw out a few shadows, and the tailed beast bomb suddenly disappeared. Everyone looked up blankly and looked at Gongyi who was standing above the sky. Before they could speak again, I saw two tailed beast bombs appearing out of thin air again on the forest not far away. Although the location there is very far from Kurigakure village, the huge tailed beast bomb is very conspicuous. The purple-black energy balls were easily recognized by everyone. Technique of Horaishin. This is Gongyi's own modified technique of Horaishin. A long time ago, the surrounding area of Kurigakure village had been set up with Horaitian Indian style by Gong Yi's, who had a heart. This is Gong Yi's current habit, but I didn't expect it now, but I got a convenience for myself. Or, save yourself the direct shot to offset the two-tailed beast bombs. Of course, Gong Yi actually wants to experiment more. 4. Horaitian, who is the 4th generation of Hokage, how powerful he is after his improvement. Through this look, Gong Yi smiled faintly, and the progress has become a breakthrough success. Thoughts here. Next second, the two-tailed beast bombs had already landed in the entire jungle after being transferred and appeared. Immediately, a dazzling white light shone out at this moment, making the already bright sky even more daylight. Immediately afterwards, it was as if the sky and the earth had been filled with the light of the entire explosion, making people unable to open their eyes. Even though they were very far apart, they still felt the prelude to the tailed beast bomb explosion. Then, there was a violent shaking like the shaking of the earth. The wind raged, rolling up the jungle covered by the tailed beast bomb, and everything there was destroyed. Immediately afterwards, there was a bang, and the entire jungle began to burst into a mushroom cloud. The huge tremor made it seem that the entire country of water-cut living creatures could hear it. A shock wave after the explosion swept all around, and each of them appeared to face everything in the distance, and gradually felt the lingering fears in their minds. Looking at the surrounding sky, everyone looked at Gong Yi in a complicated way. This powerful existence is really what they can imagine. I saw that the jungle in the distance in front was completely gone, and even spread to this place. Terumi Mei and a group of high-level officials of Kurigakure village were sweating on their backs. The two-tailed beast bombs do enter the village of Kurigakure, there may be nothing left here except into a giant sinkhole. And they finally became the lowest who were scattered by the wind, and not even the whole body remained. In the field, Gong Yi is also looking forward at this moment, and he can clearly see that the vibrant jungle before has become gone. Everything was wiped out, as if it had never appeared. Hee, the power is really good, it's still the same as before. Swish, just as Gong Yi's voice fell, he disappeared into the air. When he appeared again, he had come to the six-tailed rhinoceros. Unfortunately, I have seen too many people stronger than you. In the blink of an eye. With Gong Yi's departure, the huge glazed canopy just now dissipated, and Gong Yi did not continue to maintain it at the moment. He knew that the six-tailed rhino seemed to recognize him now. No, it should be accurate to say that it is still there. I remember that I once cut off one of its tails. At the same time, seeing that Gong Yi was already facing off against the six-tailed rhinoceros, Terumi Mei immediately came back to her senses. Her pair of beautiful eyes looked at Gong Yi quietly at this moment, and then looked at the six-tailed rhinoceros. Terumi Mei already knew clearly in her heart that she couldn't wait any longer. The village of Kurigakure must have a Jinchuriki column force. And today, the opportunity has arisen. Quick, Chojuro, go and find Jinchuriki column, the previous candidate. Thinking of this, Terumi Mei did not hesitate, and immediately turned her head and shouted to the still, stunned Chojuro. See. Quickly came back to his senses, and after hearing Terumi Mei's order, he did not hesitate at all, immediately. Dodge out of here. At this time, the rest of the people also began to slowly return to their expressions, and all mobilized. Of visiting ninjas also quickly left behind. Although Gong Yi was not afraid of the six-tailed rhinoceros at all, the rest of the people felt a deep fear towards the six-tailed rhinoceros. It didn't look very powerful, but no one dared to underestimate it. They're not just beings like Jonin, or ordinary cage-level beings, they can be directly suppressed and defeated. Human, it's really you. At this time, when Gong Yi has come to the sight of the six-tailed rhinoceros, he can be sure that this is the bastard who hurt himself. Go to hell. The words, Gong Yi opened his mouth, and the six-tailed rhinoceros had already sprayed a large amount of corrosive solution towards him in front of him. It was so close in front of its eyes that no one could escape its ultimate move. As a tailed beast without chakra restrictions, it can't feel the exhaustion of power at all now. Oh, can't stand it. Seeing the violent six-tailed rhinoceros in front of him, Gong Yi did not choose to escape from here, but instead smiled and whispered, "Then today is just right, let's practice with you." At this moment, when the terrifying corrosive solution was already pressing down on him, Gong Yi immediately hand seal with both hands. A thick voice sounded sweetly. Everyone can see that behind Gong Yi at this moment, a big hand that covers the sky and the sun appears out of thin air. I saw that when it appeared, it fanned towards the corrosive solution in an unstoppable manner. The white liquid that burst into pieces instantly collapsed. Countless solutions fell on the ground like rain, corroding the surrounding land. The sound of Lala. Just now, the six tails are invincible, and I don't know how much they have killed in seconds. Kurigakure Village Ninja's ultimate trick, in front of Gong Yi's eyes, has no effect at all. Chapter 320, The Art of Nine Dragons. 4th. Everything seemed so breezy. The corrosive solution that just made every ninja in the village of Kurigakure feel terrified cannot make Gong Yi feel any fear at all. It will work, everyone can even see. Gong Yi was wearing that white robe, which was still extremely white, and was not stained by any filth. Mr. Gong Yi. Standing in the crowd, Kimimaro stared blankly at Gong Yi in front of Lue. This time in the village of Kurigakure, Kimimaro thought a lot. Most of the time along the way, apart from talking to Gong Yi, he was also silent. Even for a few days, Kimimaro stayed at home like Gong Yi and did not want to stay in this Kurigakure village. As a ninja of the Kagaya clan, he once came to this village of Kurigakure to start a war. Later, it was Gong Yi who saved himself in the hands of Terumi Mei. 4. Kimimaro in Kurigakure village is complicated, and more of it is actually a bit mixed with a little hatred. But for Gong Yi, Kimimaro watched his eyes slowly bloom. At this moment, the figure of Gong Yi in his eyes seemed to be infinitely magnified in Kimimaro's eyes, looking extremely magnificent. Kimimaro, get out of here first. At this time, Sarutobi Armas saw that Kimimaro did not move, but was still staring at Gong Yi. He immediately drink. The rest of the people were all watching Gong Yi, but they were not so close. A battle between the two is completely beyond their reach, and everyone can only watch from a distance like this, unable to get closer. Human, you are courting death. In the field, the six-tailed rhinoceros saw that the current Gong Yi easily blocked its own attack, and it became even more angry. Even the last trace of sanity was lost, as if it would not kill Gong Yi now, it would definitely not retire in general. But at this time, Gong Yi didn't speak anymore, but the whole person immediately dodged away from its sight. When he reappeared, Gong Yi had come to the edge of the mountain. Looking at Wang Yanghai not far away, Gong Yi raised the corner of his mouth. Obviously, the whole endless sea in front of him is an excellent position for him to practice his hands. Boom, boom. Here, the six-tailed rhinoceros did not choose to continue to destroy the Kurigakure village after seeing Gong Yi leaving, but instead chased after Gong Yi. The huge body dragging and the six tails swaying behind him, the six-tailed rhinoceros has completely fallen into the madness of wanting to kill Gong Yi. Gong Yi, who was standing in the air at the moment, knew at a glance that the huge six-tailed rhinoceros behind him had been attracted by him. The jungle in front of him, which was already not much, began to be destroyed by it, and all that was left was a ruined dirt road of Mukuro. Even the few surrounding rocks were broken, and after being swept up by the six tails, countless rubble had been sputtered around. There was nothing in sight at all, it was heading in the direction of Gong Yi. The loud noise kept coming, and it was clear that it had gradually moved away from the village of Kurigakure at the same time. The village of Kurigakure on Terumi Mei's side did not choose to escape, but moved towards the battlefield opened up by Gong Yi, immediately dodged and chased after him. One after another silhouettes began to flash around, not just them. Swish, swish, Sunagakure Village, Kumogakure Village, etc. Visit, there also immediately. Go over there. Especially now, Might Guy and Kimimaro are more swift. With the march of the six-tailed rhinoceros, the dense jungles that were before are few and far between. Seeing that everything was destroyed so miserably, everyone felt a chill in their hearts. The crazy six tails have become everyone's nightmare. The huge white figures in front of them did not target them, but many people couldn't help but be afraid. Soon, as the six-tailed rhinoceros had slowly disappeared in front of their eyes, everyone began to move towards the heights of the mountains. In just a short while, the people of Kurigakure village, as well as the ninjas who visited each other, almost a whole crowd of people came here. Looking from a distance, there are people standing above Junfeng in this high place, which is a bit spectacular. Now everyone is not moving forward, because one step forward is a cliff. At this moment, they all came to this cliff. If you look in front of you, you can see that it is an endless blue sea. And the six-tailed rhinoceros and Gongyi are now thousands of meters away on the sea surface. The huge six tails did not sink to the bottom, while Gongyi was set off above the void. Although the size of the two is completely incomparable, everyone can deeply feel that the power contained in Gongyi's body is completely stronger than that of the six-tailed rhinoceros. On the battlefield, a destructive force begins to vent. At this moment, the patience of the six-tailed rhino has been completely wiped out. When it saw that Gongyi had stopped, it immediately start gathering energy. Tailed Beast Bomb. The Tailed Beast Bomb, feared by everyone, was once again released in front of it. 4. A tailed beast with no chakra restrictions, this is totally just normal. Soon, the purple-black energy ball has appeared in front of everyone's eyes. The people who stood on the high and looked at Gongyi, their hearts jumped. Now Gongyi is very close to the six tails. If this tailed beast bomb is bombarded, it will be very dangerous for him. But, even so, Gongyi still hasn't avoided it. He's still so indifferent. From the beginning to now, his appearance has hardly changed. The tailed beast bomb that has been condensed, instantly blasted out. Gongyi, who is only 100 meters away, breaking through the air. At this moment, tailed beast bomb, who was looking at the front, was already rushing towards him, and Gongyi immediately hand-sealed with both hands. Senpo, Sage Art 9 Dragons Art. Hula. As soon as the voice fell, the calm sea under Gongyi was now a turbulent Uzumaki. Immediately, several blue water dragons rushed out of it, and the huge tail flicked. They are intertwined in the air, soaring dozens of meters, majestic. Pair of twin pupils of the gorilla Yuhi shone brightly, as if the dragon in the sea had revived, which was daunting. 1, 2, 3. The whole sky is full, and now there are 9 huge Sweden, water-style dragons. Roar. The mouth roared out. 9 dragons roared in unison, and the entire water surface of thousands of meters and tens of thousands of meters instantly swayed to both sides, turning over ripples. The next second, the speed is fast. Tailed beast bomb whistling, heading straight towards. Congratulations for winning the championship, very happy to read the